In Russian roulette, you have a 1 in 6 chance of dying, but in Korean roulette, you have a 5 in 6 chance of dying. Ji-hun may want to bring the games to a halt, but unfortunately for him, the games are only just beginning. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment. We're here with a brand new Squid Game Season 2, Episode 1 review. This one was called Bread and Lottery, and that's exactly what a lot of poor, homeless people, aka bums, had to choose between in this episode. We had the salesman, we had the recruiter, Gong Yu. He was back, and more evil than ever, more sinister than ever. In the first season, he felt like a happy-go-lucky kind of guy that was nice and offering people a chance to play for money. In Season 2... he just seemed like he had a big stick up his ass. I don't know, like he'd done a month spree of cocaine or something. He felt off his game. He felt like he was a complete madman. And we seen him ultimately meet his demise at the end of this episode, but not before taking down the top man.
It was a long 3 years to wait for Squid Game Season 2. Was it worth the wait? Well, we're going to bring that review to you. 4, 5, 6, the salesman, the rest of them. And they're being labelled as that because, to be honest, guys, I'm not really that good with names, especially when it comes to Squid Game. It's been 3 years, alright? I have got dementia. I cannot remember them. I simply remember numbers before names. So 4, 5, 6, he's in the memory bank. The salesman is also in the memory bank. And the rest of them, well, they're at the back of the bank. But I tell you what, 4, 5, 6, he has got a sofa to die for. Not because it's memory foam, because it's padded with one, and plenty of it.
Yeah, well, you need plenty of one to have a good amount, and he's certainly got it. I mean, you walk in here and it's like Fort Knox. It's the Fort Knox of Wong. He's got like
the Fort Knox of Wong. Damn it!
You know, I mean, he's got like a full bedroom of one. It's probably about worth $10 American dollars, but I mean,
it's worth less than the fucking bed.
I mean, it is what it is. This episode basically featured around, obviously, our two main characters, Ji-hun and Jun-ho. Obviously, they escaped last time from the island. Ji-hun escaped as a winner, and Jun-ho escaped as a victim, really. He was shot by his own brother. Yes, In-ho shoots his brother, left him for dead. Turns out, though, he didn't die. So we see him wake up in a hospital with his mother. He got rescued by some guy on the coast. Some good Samaritan came, chucked him in a boat. So we've got our two main protagonists. They're both safe. They're both ready. But more importantly, they both want to get back on the island, and they both want to stop the games. And we see that by the end of this episode, looks like our two main characters are about to meet. And if they team up, I think they can take down the game, because you've got the intelligence, you've got the abilities of Jun-ho, and then you've got that just sheer commitment for Ji-hun to just never give up, never die, and get to the end. So I think these two can make a good team.
Yeah, they are going to make a good team, and they're adding numbers also throughout this episode and the next few episodes. It's exactly what they need to do, alright? Well, I mean, let's be honest, man, a two-man team, two-man power trip, you're going up against an island littered with bodies, littered with manpower. So they need to add more numbers. You can have as much brains as you want, but more often than not, those brains are going to get spilled on the sidewalk if you're outnumbered.
That's probably what's going to happen. So we see Ji-hun, he's about to board his plane like he did last season, but he does a 180 and he's like, nah, I'm not leaving. I'm not a horse that you can bet on. And he tells the game master he's going to find him, he's going to track him down, he's going to put an end to these games. And then we see him cut a tracker out of his ear. So it looks like everybody that entered the games was installed with some sort of tracking device. Now, Ji-hun cuts his out. I guess that's the only relevant tracker left, because everyone else is dead, so he's the only guy being tracked. Now, why would they be tracking you? Is it in case you escape, or do they just want to keep an eye on the winners? Do they want to know where the winners go, what the winners are up to? And what do you think the reason is for the tracker? Do you think it's for the actual games themselves, or do you think it's for after the games? Because they would have the opportunity to remove this tracker after the game if it was just a in-game...
Yeah, I don't know. You see with Hell's Kitchen, they do like a season of All-Stars. Maybe Squid Game, we're planning a season of All Winners. No?
And they need a tracker for that?
Keep a track of where they're all going, aye. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it made for a pretty good scene where he whips out the razor blade and just cuts it out his ear, and the kid walks in. He's like, 5 minutes, boy.
Yeah, so we see that. He cuts out his tracker. John Ho, he gets washed up. He's in a hospital bed. His mother's obviously grateful to see that he's alive. Then we see them both go on their separate ways to try and track down the island. John Ho goes out on the coast, on the boat, with the man that rescued him, looking for the island. They travel, they track down all these islands, but they can't find the right one. And we have Gene Hun, and he has recruited the loan sharks from season 1. The guys that owed him money, he's paid them off, he's squared all his debts, and he's getting these guys, and they've got numbers, they've got quite a lot of numbers, and he's got them posted in the train station, and he's looking for the salesman, he's looking for the recruiter, because he believes that's his best way of getting back into the game. So they've got like 20 loan sharks at all times, tracking all the different stations, but they've been doing this for a long time, and they have not came across this guy yet. Ji-hun is doubling up the money. He's like, right, come on, we need to find this guy. The first person they find him, he offers $500 million. So at this point, the loan sharks, they're ready. They're more determined than ever. Money talks.
No, money does talk, and they're just looking for a guy in a suit with a briefcase. He's 6 foot tall, which puts him above the average Korean, dare I say. And then he's playing that wee game of Deche, where he's throwing the red and blue squares on the floor with an unlucky player at the end of the day, and a big slap across the face if you lose. And we've seen it late on. We fought nightfall, sunrise. They were at every bloody train station in Seoul, and they thought, right, we're never going to get anything here. But then they catch him at the end of the night, playing it.
Yeah, they do catch him. We have one of the loan sharks, Woo Siak, and his, I believe, the captain of the loan sharks,
He officiated my wedding.
The leader of the loan sharks, Captain, is it Captain Park? Not too sure his name, but they both track down the recruiter. They follow him. Ji-hun is giving chase. He's trying to catch up, but the recruiter never stays in one place at the same time. He's constantly on the move, so it's kind of hard to keep a track of this guy. He walks into a park, offers a bunch of homeless people a lottery ticket or some bread. Pretty much everybody but one chooses a lottery ticket. One homeless guy, I guess, was hungry. He chose the bread. But none of the lottery tickets are winners. They're all losers. And then we get the recruiter. He just takes out all the remaining bread. He could have just gave them away, but he decides to ruin them all by jumping all over them, stomping over the bread, like a pure madman at this point. Not quite sure what he was thinking. But then he's on the move again. He's getting chased by the two loan sharks. They decide, look, we can't wait on Ji-hun. Ji-hun's taking forever. And they decide that they're going to try and take down the recruiter themselves. It's 2-on-1, but little do they know the recruiter's actually pretty skillful, and he takes them down.
Yeah, he takes them down, pretty much leaves them without a trace.
Takes them down to Chinatown.
He does.
Or Koreatown in this case.
Yeah, Koreatown in this case, but then he takes them up to like this big room, and then he plays Russian roulette. We have, 4, 5, 6 hot on the trail, and a set of traffic cops led by John Ho pull him over, but conveniently it's no John Ho that goes to his windy.
Yeah, it's his little sidekick who did not have a name. He runs the documents, he runs the information on Ji-hun. Ji-hun's not interested because he needs to catch the salesman. He just gives his documents, then he speeds off, doesn't even communicate. The little cop takes it back. John Ho looks at the documents, he looks at the info, he looks at the driver's license, and he actually realises that this is indeed Ji-hun. And he remembers him from season 1, he remembers him from the Squid Games, and at this point he knows that he has to catch this man, because that could lead him back to his brother.
It could lead him back to his brother.
Could lead him back to the games as well.
He needs to get back to the games, and it makes you wonder, how many islands is there in South Korea?
Well, there's not an island up next, but there is a game, and it's the recruiter, the salesman. He's playing with both loan sharks. Now, these loan sharks are very close. They're like brothers. He forces them to play Russian roulette, and it is just, one bullet in a chamber. You spin the chamber, one shot, bang, spin the chamber again, one shot, bang. However, that's a 1 in 6 chance of dying, and nobody's dying. They're playing rock, paper, scissors. Doesn't seem to matter who wins, doesn't seem to matter who loses, because it's 1 in 6 chance of winning, so 1 in 6 chance of dying. So, you've got a good chance of surviving here. But he decides to change it, and he decides to up the ante a little bit, because it's getting a bit boring, in his own words. So he decides to put an extra 4 bullets into the chamber, and he reverses the odds. It goes from a 1 in 6 chance of dying to a 5 in 6 chance of dying. We then get one more round of rock, paper, scissors, and after a bunch of draws, Woo Seok produces 2 rocks, and at this point you could say he is in between a rock in a hard place because his boss, Mr. Kim, he's got one paper and he's got one scissor. All he has to do is remove the scissor, keep the paper hand out there, and he is guaranteed to win because paper beats rock. But in the end, after the countdown, Mr. Kim decides to remove neither of his hands, leading to a disqualification. The salesman then points the Russian roulette gun, the revolver, into his temple, pulls the trigger, and unfortunately, the 5 and 6 chances of dying are just too difficult to overcome. Mr. Kim dead.
Despite drawing 2 rocks, like, I mean, what you have to have at this point is the guy who's facing you, his arse folding and freezes. Now, obviously, I don't think Mr. Kim froze here. I think he actually just did it to help his younger friend /
he sacrificed
son-like figure out here.
He sacrificed himself.
Yeah,
essentially. That's what he done. He sacrificed himself. We then get Jihan. He arrives at the location. He spots the blood. He manages to track down the salesman. And then they get into another game of Russian roulette. The salesman basically accuses our character, our main man, Jihan, of getting lucky, and that's why he won the games. He thinks that there's nothing about him, and he just fluked his way, and that's how he was able to climb out of the dumpster. So he proposes another game of Russian roulette, but instead of a 1 in 6 chance, instead of the bullet being spun around and being changed every shot, he's going to keep it in there. So therefore, at the end of 6 clicks, you're guaranteed to get a shot, and that means that somebody will die. Somebody is going to go bye-bye after 6 bullets. So he spins the gun, lands on Jihan. Jihan takes his go first. We have 4 goes, 2 each, and it comes down to the final 2 chambers in the revolver. And both guys at this point are still alive. Salesman at this point tries to intimidate Jihan. He says, you could just pick up the gun, try and click it twice, shoot me, and take the coward's way out, but you're just proving that you were never good enough and that you just fluked the games and that you're not a man, you're just a dog, you're just trash. So Jihan doesn't accept this. He pulls the gun on himself, bang, but there's no bullet, and that means the last remaining bullet is in the final chamber. Jihan then plays the same mind games to the salesman, giving the salesman the option of just turning the gun and killing him, but that would mean that the salesman's lost, essentially. So the salesman then, at this point, he doesn't care. He's already shot his own father in the game, so at this point he's like, what the fuck? He's a man of his word, picks up the revolver, shoots himself, bang, loses the game of Russian roulette. And you know what? It must suck when you go last, because all the other times you don't know if you're going to live or die, but this guy is literally knowing that this one click of the trigger's killing him.
Do you think his logic, though, was a bit flawed here when he turned around and said that Jihan was, the reason you won is because of luck, and then Jihan's way of proving this is by pulling the trigger in a lucky game of 50-50 where if it doesn't kill me, then you die. And it's like, is it not kind of just luck then? Yeah, he's showing...
Bottle, he's...
Yeah, he's showing bottle, but at the end of the day, it's luck.
It is, but I mean, he's offering him the easy way out, and Jihan doesn't take it.
I don't know why the salesman, though, completely went off the fucking edge here.
Yeah,
I've honestly, what was the tipping point of this episode? It was probably the one homeless guy trying to grab the bit of bread.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what sent him over the edge, but he just seemed to lose all composure, and his character completely changed, I think, in the second half of this episode. Just turned into a complete fucking madman. But you know what? I liked it, and it's just a shame that he didn't last a little bit longer. Should the salesman have lasted longer in season 2? I think so, but...
Well, obviously I don't think this is ever going to happen, but I would have liked to have seen him in the games.
Yeah, I think it would have been interesting, but Jihan now has access to his card, and that's essentially what the game was over. If Jihan won, he would get his card, and he would get a way back in to the island. So Jihan shoots the salesman's dead. That brings an end to the episode. There was also a scene where Jihan phoned his daughter in America, but still didn't have anything to say, and I think it's been like 3 years now since they last spoke. So at this point, for all she knows, her dad could be dead. And you know what? Her dad's lucky not to be dead.
No, yeah, he's definitely lucky not to be dead, but I tell you what, we're lucky not to be dead after waiting 3 long years for this, so how did it deliver? I'm going to get an 8 out of 10. Thought it was pretty good.
We also have John Ho just arriving outside the motel. If he'd got there a little bit sooner, maybe he could have stopped this game of Russian roulette.
Yeah, maybe he could have, but he didn't.
Or Korean roulette.
Korean roulette, Russian roulette. I like a good game of Russian roulette. To put it this way, right? See if you've got a decent writer and director, I think it's hard to make a game of this shite.
I thought it was a very good game, and I like the dialogue between the two characters. I like the reveal that the salesman had killed his own father, and at this point he's not afraid to, he'll basically put anybody down.
Yeah.
And he worked his way up to get this position. He used to work in the games, and I'm assuming that the salesman must be a position that's highly valued among the elites and among the game runners. So
who will replace him now?
It's interesting who will replace him, because he was an important factor. He was the guy that got all the participants to join the game. So that's him gone. Well, we'll see what happens now in episode 2. But yeah, I'll agree. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. I thought it was a very good episode. I know some people are being negative because they want to get straight into the games and whatnot, but you can't just follow the exact same formula of season 1. This is about revenge, isn't it? This is about Ji-hun trying to take them down. The focus is more on Ji-hun trying to bring a stop to the games rather than just playing games. We've already had the introduction. You can't expect them to do the same thing in season 2 as they did season 1. So I think an 8 out of 10 is fair. Sad to see the salesman go, but we'll see what happens next time out. That's it, guys. Till next time, peace.
It may be Christmas time in the real world, but in Squid Game, it's Halloween time, and Ji-hun has got the last invite to the party. Welcome back to Fog Entertainment. It's episode 2 of the long-awaited season 2 of Squid Game. The game's not quite have begun yet, but guess what? You've got to eat dinner before you get dessert. But next time, I'm ready for my ice cream. Are you ready for yours?
John may have an invitation to the Halloween party, but the real horror is about to begin once again on the island, and he plans on stopping it. Plan A is to prevent it from happening, but Plan B, as we see by the end of episode 2, is to rejoin the games. Now, was that a mistake for Ji-hun? Should he have prevented himself from going back into the island and putting himself in that dangerous position where he is once again a player? He once again has to pass all these games in order just to survive. I think he did make a mistake, but here, Plan B's Plan B for a reason, because their plan goes out the window.
All the time here on Fog Entertainment, we know about A's and B's, but let's talk you through this episode.
I don't think any of our Plan A's ever worked, to be honest, but...
Yeah, you may as well have... There's 26 letters in the alphabet, you may as well use them.
That's what they're there for.
And the Koreans know sure how hell to do that, because look at their names, they do it.
I don't really know what their alphabet looks like, to be honest. Could be more than 26.
It could be more than 26, but Jun Ho begins the episode, he arrives at the motel, he's in hot pursuit, isn't he?
He is in hot pursuit, and he catches Ji-hun with the recruiter just laying there, a bullet in the side of his brain, and he comes to the conclusion, yeah, you killed him. And obviously Ji-hun didn't. Well, I mean, technically, no, he didn't. It was a game of Russian roulette. That's not killing. And he was basically forced into playing it. So it was just another game at the end of the day that Ji-hun won. Whether he won it through luck or bravery, it's entirely up to you. You can decide. But the
definitely both, because he didn't have to play it. It wasn't a saw trap where if he didn't play it, he died.
Well, I mean, you could argue the recruiter would have just killed him.
Nah, it was a game. They both saw the mission out.
No, he told him we were playing a game. You don't know what happens if he refuses to play the game.
No, I think the recruiter guy would have let him live. Even though he was a bit unhinged. But here, it didn't happen. Right, the gun went off. He's dead.
Aye, he's dead, so that John Ho comes in.
Yeah, John Ho comes in, guys, after... I mean, he did get pointed to the right room by Cho Wook-sik, so that was good from him. And then he actually saves John Ho in here, because it was almost good night. He was almost getting arrested. The games were never going to get interrupted here. But then a big chair to the back of the dome, and it knocks out John Ho. He's in the bathtub for a wee bit of interrogation, and after a wee bit of back and forth, they're on the same page. The three of them are going to team up.
Yeah, but they all want the same thing, so you may as well work together. Why have one person trying to bring down the games when you can have three?
And then Ji-hun whips out his money mattress.
Yeah, we get introduced to Ji-hun and his wad of cash, his stack of cash. There's a lot of won in here, a lot more won that I'm comfortable in seeing. Him, Jung-ho, and Woo Si-ok decide that they are going to come up with a plan. Woo Si-ok manages to create a team of basically accomplished you name it, they've done it.
Ex-military, ex-Navy SEALs, ex-police, ex-army, ex-everything you can name it. This guy's a traffic cop. He sucks.
Yeah, so Wushuk says that Young Ho is just nothing but an ex-traffic cop, and he's not really suited to the team, but he doesn't really know the skill set and what Jun Ho is capable of going through. This is the guy that infiltrated the island the first time, so if anyone's capable of bringing these games down, I'd argue it's him, because he did pretty well last time.
He did do pretty well last time. I'm looking forward to him arriving back on the island. I'm looking forward to the big reunion of everybody back on the island.
Yeah, me too. Now, we do get introduced to a new character, Noelle, apparently a North Korean defector, and she wants to get her son back. She needs money for her son, so therefore she's also in the games. However, we see a new dynamic here where she is not joining the games as a player, but she's actually joining the games as one of the soldiers. Now, not too sure how that comes around. The recruiter recruits players. Is there a separate person that recruits workers, recruits soldiers?
Potentially, but I think it makes sense to go after defectors from North Korea, because I think they would tend to be a bit more colder, so to speak. I think so.
I don't think that's got anything to do with it, personally.
Well, I think it would. The South Koreans are a wee... I mean, I think it's just basic knowledge that the South Koreans are a wee bit weaker than the North Koreans. No?
Well, I can't confirm nor deny.
Oh, here, you're not the Holy Grail, mate. If you did confirm it, it would have meant hee-haw. If you denied it, I went, well, it meant hee-haw as well. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, so we got to see a bit of her life. Seems like she works at some sort of amusement park. And yeah, it's a shite job, really, where she dresses up as some cuddly character every day. We see some kid who's got a diagnosis. He's terminally ill. He enjoys the park. He enjoys the animals that come to life. One day, she, I guess, leaves and then gives up her costume. One of her co-workers has to take place, and he doesn't keep up to her efforts. He doesn't keep up the requirements, and he takes his hat off. The kid sees it. It's fake. It's not real. And then I guess the kid just kind of dies or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, he's like, he needs... I think what we're going to see here is maybe this kid's father go into the game because he doesn't have the money for the surgery. So looking forward to that. But honestly, I get you need to introduce new characters, and it is a good dynamic to have someone actually go in as a guard rather than a player. So I do enjoy that. But at the same time, did feel a wee bit filler compared to the main stuff going on.
Yeah, maybe they could have shortened this a little bit, maybe not showed as much scenes, I think, but it is what it is. New character.
And the episode ended with her getting changed into the suit. Like, I thought they might have went a different way, but...
Yeah, but, I thought something was up, because you seen her enter some form of, truck. It was like a big lorry with a massive trailer on the back of it, and we haven't seen any players enter that way. We normally see them enter in the back of the car, and then they get gassed, and before we know it, they wake up and they're in the room. She entered a different way. There was no gas, and therefore, when you see her put on the pink suit and she puts on the helmet, it makes sense that, she's not entering the games as a player. So we'll see what this leads to. I'm just a little bit curious as to how she got this infight.
Yeah, maybe it'll be explained later on, but who knows? But
they all seem to know everyone's history. They know your debts and what you owe, and possibly they look for people with experience and experience in the military or whatnot. But then again, we've seen the front man when he was first recruited. He was recruited as a player. Why wasn't he recruited as a soldier?
See, but we don't really know, and I guess more mysteries that are hidden is a good thing for the show, because it's pretty early. Only getting the 2 seasons apparently, so we'll see how that goes. But we see Ji-hun get a big tracker inserted into his tooth, look pretty brutal. Some black market dentistry at work here, so a tracker on him at all times.
Well, I tell you what, it's got a lot of money, so he can afford the best black market dentist.
That's it. I tell you what though, the stack of cash they gave him wasn't that big.
It wasn't.
And also, this loan shark guy, surely he'd be like, oh, I'll help you, Ji-hun, and just take one of his wee loan shark mates with a flatbed truck and just hoover all his money off him. That's what I'd have done.
Yeah. Well, I guess if he keeps his mouth shut, there's more money coming his way. We see them infiltrate the club then, so it's some sort of Halloween themed party. Ji-hun believes that he sees a front man, but instead it's just some kid with a black mask on. He's questioning, what do you want, Gramps? Now, Jihan enters with Woo Seok, but Young Ho's left on the outside. It's a two-man job, apparently, and these are the two going in. But Woo Seok, he feels more like a comedy-esque character. Doesn't seem like a serious threat. Doesn't seem like somebody that you believe's going to single-handedly take down the games. I think he's there to provide a little bit of relief.
Yeah, he's here with the horse mask on, and it's like he's just getting tasered, banged about, joking, moving his head about like an absolute stallion.
Jung Ho spots the soldiers in the pink suits. There's two of them entering the back door of the building. He tries to radio through, but there's a bit of a connection problem. Woo Seok only hears one soldier, and he sees the one soldier leading Ji-hung away. So he believes there's only one, and he walks straight into the other one, who tases him, takes him out the game, and then both soldiers manage to escape the Halloween party with Ji-hun. Jung Ho gets in, but it's a crowded it's a crowded party, a lot of people in here. By the time he makes it downstairs, Ji-hung has already left. Now, it didn't help that he got stopped at the door. Security trying to stop him.
I think this is a toy.
I'm a cop. He's like, look around. Everyone's a cop. And obviously Halloween, loads of people dressed up as cops. But then he pulls the gun on him, and the security's like, well, hey, officer, on you go.
This is a safe country. No one has guns. Yeah. They ain't supposed to.
Rolled out the red carpet there for Jung Ho. Ji-hun then enters the limo, and he is confronted by none other than the frontman.
Yeah.
And voice only.
Yeah, voice only, because there's a big giant golden pig in the middle of the truck. But he was in the front of the limo, to be exact.
Yeah, then we get the reveal at the end that he's in the front of the limo, but they discuss the games. Ji-hun wants to bring the games down. The front man reveals that the games will never stop, and that the games will never stop as long as the world continues the way it's going, and he blames people for the games. So, I don't know if that's some deflection tactics there, maybe.
Yeah, he's basically saying the games are there to get rid of the trash. Are they? I think it's to make a lot of money while getting rid of the trash. The jobbers of society. Here, some people might agree with his methods, his ideology, but Ji-hun certainly doesn't, and he's got the money to back this up here, but Plan B is in motion. You see Jun Ho following them. You've got the...
Oh, that's Plan A.
Well, Plan A. You've got Jun Ho. You've got the military, the ex-military guys, but they all get wiped out by a bunch of snipers, and I don't know, man. It's like, maybe he should have bought some cars with bulletproof tyres. Well,
he probably wasn't expecting the snipers to take them out, but I guess that would reveal why the limo was circling the same building. But the sniper was ready to take them out, so they can no longer follow Ji-hun. They lose contact on Ji-hun, and then obviously knowing that Plan A has failed and they're not going to be able to take the front man down, Ji-hun has to move on to Plan B, and that is to infiltrate the island by entering once again as a player. Frontman tells Ji-hun that he should have left, he should have took the money, that money was his, he earned it, and he wanted him to have a happy life. Whether that's true or not, we don't know. Should Ji-hun even be here? Should he be enjoying his money? He could have got on that plane and he would not be risking his life. You look at everything he went through. He overcame 455 other players. Maybe he deserved some happiness. Maybe he deserved to live a rich life for the rest of his days. But Ji-hun talks about how he defeated Onam, and Onam didn't want to admit that he was wrong about the world, taking us back to episode 9 when the homeless guy was rescued. But the front man and Onam, they don't agree with Ji-hun's vision of the world. They think that it's full of trash and that the games are helping eliminate that trash. But, we see in the games, it doesn't necessarily mean you're trash. You just see some desperate people in there. The front man at one point went into the game, so is he referring to himself as trash?
Well, that's it. Maybe you turn for trash and you turn into something great, but no one's ever really forced into these games at the end of the day. They go in for their own motives, don't they?
Yeah.
It's not like people are getting picked up at the side of the street and forced in. That'd be different.
And that's the thing. They have maintained that these games are fair and that they want everyone to have the same chance. We've seen in season 1 when there was cheating going on, it was cut out, and everyone they have the option of voting, and if the majority vote to stop, then the game stops. So yeah, it's not like these people are being forced against their will. And even when Jun Ho wants to go back in, the front man, he's reluctant to do it, and he makes him confirm that he's sure about doing so.
Yeah, so they definitely follow the rule book, but essentially he agrees, and then the smoke appears and he's knocked out. So he's going to be re-entering the game. So I'm guessing with episode 3, folks, that's where the games are going to begin again. Looking forward to it, but the episode did end with Noel getting her uniform on and the wee truck riding off into the sunset. So we're seeing a lot of different perspectives. I've actually liked the beginning of season 2 because if you just begun with games, it's like, well, what are we doing here?
Yeah, some people can't comprehend that. They just want it to be season 1 repeated, but with different games or in different characters. It's like, you can't have it be the exact same. It has to be different.
That would only work if you didn't already have a story. But you've got a story about him wanting back in. You've got people that want to find the island. Now, if it was just a complete fresh set of characters, then by all means,
yeah, then that works, but that's not the case. So yeah, I think it's been a good start, but not great. It's not blown me away.
Yeah, I mean, season 1, though, at this point, wasn't exactly great, was it? It was probably about the mid part that I thought it really peaked. So I'll give this episode a 7. I thought it was pretty decent.
I'm giving it a 7 as well. 7, I think it's fair. I gave episodes 1 and 8, so I think a 7's pretty fair. And hopefully it picks up. But yeah, guys, let us know your thoughts down below. Let us know your opinions. And we will catch you in the next one. But that's it for Halloween Party. Up next, I believe, we have episode 3, which is called 001. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
The game was so nice, we had to play it twice. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment. We're giving the green light for Season 2, Episode 3. This one is called 001. And we're also giving the green light for the return of Red Light, Green Light. The first game of the first season is also the first game of the second season. And of course, Ji-hun, this helps him massively because he's played this game before. He knows how to pass this game. He knows how to survive this game. The only problem is he needs to convince 455 other players to listen to him.
Ji-hun has won before, and it turns out number 1 could be wanting to win again as well. It's spicy. We've got 1, 4, 5, 6 going to be going at it, judging by the end of this episode, and a lot of jobbers in between. Streamers, Bitcoiners, trannies, everybody. It's a Royal Rumble.
Now, what I noticed straight away from the contestant and the players, it did feel like a lot more modern, the range. I felt like in the first season, and not that I had an issue with it at all, but it just felt like you're more normal, average kind of people, and obviously you had that bad kind of the drug dealer or the gang man, whatever. You had like a prostitute in there. You had the old crazy woman. You had people wanting to win the money for their own reasons. That's all great and stuff. But in this one, it almost felt like they were kind of trying to like modernize it a little bit with the fact that you had streamers and there's talks of like Bitcoin and all this stuff.
But what I would argue is that
it looked more like a hip crew, in my opinion.
Yes, you would have to be something though in order to get in so much debt to enter these games, and therefore it makes sense for a bunch of people involved with Bitcoin and streaming and the rap game and betting all their money on Bitcoin to enter due to this debt. But then saying that, not all 400 odd players are going to be involved in Bitcoin.
I'm just saying, based on the players that we've seen in Season 1 and Season 2, you'd have maybe thought there was a bigger gap than 3 years. But anyway...
But I would agree, I think there is more than 3 years. I think you look at the main actor, he's aged. Now, the rumours are they finished writing Squid Game originally in 2009. I don't know how long after they filmed it. I wouldn't be surprised if this show was filmed at least 10 years ago, Season 1.
Well, I don't think it was. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that. We don't really care if that was filmed 10 years ago, 100 years ago. Well, I don't think it was filmed 100 years ago.
That's plenty.
Maybe 001 for Season 1 was filmed 100 years ago. He's the only guy near that age. But here, how could Ji-hun ever trust anybody with the number 1? Anyway, how does number 390 suit you? We get introduced to Young Bae. And this, of course, is Ji-hun's friend from Season 1. Ji-hun used to go and gamble with this guy. I don't think either of them had much success. Although this man did own a restaurant and he had a wife, and we later find out that he doesn't have the restaurant anymore. His wife left him and she got custody. So he's not doing too good. And I guess that's why he's in the games. He wants to win some money. He doesn't know, though, why Ji-hun has just ignored him, abandoned him over the last couple of years. Says, we were best friends. Where have you been? Well, did you follow me because I didn't lend you that money? He doesn't know, though, that Ji-hun has been on a secret mission the last 3 years to try and take down this big, bad Korean evil gamer. So, well, not evil gamers, but...
the big Squid Game guys. But no, my problem is with this, it's like, It's been 3 years since season 1. I did not know who this guy was.
Operation.
Operation? What do you mean Operation?
He's taking down the South Korean operation.
He's taking down the South Korean Squid Game operation. But my point is, I think 3 years in between seasons is ridiculous. All in, it's about 12 seasons. I can't accept that. Seasons of the years, by the way. I think we need a year in between each season. Look how much they've aged, for fuck's sake. Guy says it's 3 years. He's near as old as number 1. Come on. And then this guy, how am I supposed to know who this guy is? Ji-hun. Fucking reel in, buddy. Back of the line. But you know what? We get introduced to a few people. Thanos, apparently in real life, he's actually a part of a disbanded rap group for South Korea. Honestly, I see people that like K-pop outside of Korea. What are you doing with your life, man? Some of the shitest rap you'll ever hear. No Indian guy this time around. I thought they might have fired a few Indian guys.
Lack of diversity, I noticed that.
Yeah, we had a trans person being played by a non-trans person. That sparked a bit of fury in the media.
We had number 333. He was Moon Jae. He is a former YouTuber who streamed and he promoted some form of Bitcoin. And he cost a lot of people a lot of money. And some of those people are in this game and they're not happy with him. They're demanding that he must win the money and pay them back or else he is going to get it.
Call me old-fashioned, man. I'll never be interested in Bitcoin. It just sounds like a big scheme to get people money hoovered after.
Yeah, look, Bitcoin, I mean, yeah, I'm sure people have made money from it, but to me, you can't beat cold, hard cash.
You always hear about people making money. You never hear about their losses. It's the same with gambling. People don't brag about their losses.
Yeah, look,
they brag about the one win they get.
I
know all about that.
See, for every one person that's made it big on Bitcoin, I bet you've got about 10 people that went fucking broke.
Yeah.
Investing in it. So, you know what? Take your Bitcoins free, and shove them up your arse. Anyway, we get introduced to all the players, and some of them get names, some of them don't get names. We get the explanations for what they're here for. Obviously, they're desperate, they want money.
3 billion won debt.
Yeah, we get
4 billion won debt.
Yeah, the soldiers come in and they basically explain why everyone is here and explain how much money everyone is owed or everyone is
not owed, mate. Right, you need to reel this in. Right, they're not owed hee-haw. They're in debt. The big Squid Game operators are not in debt to hee-haw. They're here simply facilitating the game for these people that need money. Now, the problem for me is, right, normally, right, see, in a normal society, being 10 million in debt would be an insane amount of money. But see, with one, that's like pocket change. That's doing the sofa change. And the problem for me here is that the jackpot's 45.6 billion won, and the guy in here for the highest amount of debt is 10 billion won. So it's like, this guy, later on in this episode, it's like, oh, this guy, 456, we can keep him alive, and we'll get 200s to win. It's like, well, hold on, here are 200s of fucking
100.
His name's 100.
So that's his number. He's not got. I don't think he's got a name.
Well, fuck his name, the old guy, the oldest guy in there. Why would he want loads of people to win? If you divide 45.6 billion won by 200, you're not getting your 10 billion. This guy needs a maximum of 4 or 5 people.
5 people. Any more than 5, he's not getting his debt.
He's not. So this guy wanting. I mean, he should actually want 4, 5, 6 to be an inside agent trying to kill everyone. But it's like, do you not honestly feel like the fact that this guy's 10 billion in debt almost makes these games not worth it? The risk for him, if you're a nobody, and it's like you can get 45.6 billion.
Well, I disagree with that because the less you're in debt, the more legit ways you must have of actually repaying it. If you're this much in debt like this guy, then probably Squid Game's your only opportunity. So I would take that back. That logic doesn't sit with me at all. You're trying to say because this guy is more in debt, it's not worth him playing. I'm going to disagree. The people that are less in debt would have a much better chance and more opportunities of paying it back in the real world.
Yeah, but I think this guy. Well, maybe I fumbled the ball there. You know, unlike Patrick Mahomes or whatever.
Did they play American football in Korea?
My point is, it's like, for this guy to actually do well, he needs the least amount of people to survive as possible.
Well, look, I mean, at the end of the day, they probably all want one person just to win it. This whole rule where you split it after a game, that's only been introduced now.
Yeah, I've no idea really what the future games hold, but I would say just due to the fact that they know that 4, 5, 6 is in there, obviously, they can't have games that knowing prior is an advantage. Now, you could argue green light and red light is an advantage knowing prior.
Are they really factoring that in, though? Because they
No, but say you get to the bridge, right? Say you get to the glass bridge. He obviously knows going last is a good thing. Unless the timer...
They could switch it up, though, couldn't they?
Where going first is a good thing.
I don't know, they could just switch the number. Maybe 16th means you're first. They could do it.
I guess they could, but I think his knowledge breaks games like that. And to be honest, I think the drawing game in the honeycomb doesn't really matter with prior knowledge. But it's a tough situation.
See, there was, I guess you could argue there was a flaw. One of the soldiers says that every single one of yous in here are indebted or in billions, millions. But we know that Jihan can't be indebted because he is a previous winner. So that would tell me that none of the soldiers know about the identity of any of these people. And I believe that the only man that knows Jihan is in here is the front man.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with that. Or else they could have just been masking this guy's identity. But then why would they? Because that would make it feel like he's an agent. But anyway, I mean, we go up the stairs to red light, green light. Jihan's like,
well,
right.
They could be masking his identity, but that means what he said is factually incorrect. Because he said everybody that's in this room is in debt.
And they don't normally lie. Unless they're being lied to.
Yeah, from what we've seen, they've always told the truth. Yeah. So I think it would make sense, though, that the front man's the only man that knows about Jihan being in there.
Front man, top man, I wonder who's the back man. But Jihan, he goes to the front of the line, he's like, right, basically, if we move it when it's green, we're alright. If we move when it's red, you're going to get shot. Oh, this guy, he crazy, he lying. It's like, hold on here, right? Maybe he is lying. But why do all these people who wake up in this mysterious land, they get drugged out for the amount of money that's at stake here, think this is just going to be some walk in the park and think this guy's crazy?
Yeah, why would you be getting drugged and taken to a remote place?
You know, I totally get it, right? 456 people. I'm not saying every single one of them's going to be like, you know what, he's right. But there wasn't like anyone defending him. Like, he could be right.
Yeah, so he gives them advice. He tells them what to do. They play the game. One of the women that, probably got a decent amount of screen time, to be honest. I forget her name. Did she have a name? Not too sure.
B lands on her. Wasp B stung. I moved. That's me. Dead. Big shot to the dome. Shocked they actually killed her, but I guess the first kill needs to be meaningful. And she did have a decent bit of screen time in this episode with the Thanos guy, but she gets shot here, and not everyone really wants to believe it.
Mina, so player 196, she actually got a lot of dialogue in this episode, and just normally when that happens, you kind of just assume, right, the characters that they build before the first game, they're trying to introduce characters for the Squid Game tournament, and they're not going to maybe dedicate a lot of time to somebody before the first game if they plan on killing them. But she was the first player to go, which I thought was a little bit surprising. And then when she went, more people seemed to just lose their minds, and some of them tried to run away. The composure slipped. We've seen Thanos take some drugs, and that seemed to help him a little bit.
Why has he been allowed drugs in, by the way?
That's I don't know, is there something suspicious going on there? Or
we've seen Jihan, his tracker took out his tooth, and it led them to some fisherman's bait.
True, but you know what, maybe the drugs doesn't stop the game. No one's going to find them because of drugs, so maybe.
But it is like a form of cheating.
Possibly, but anyway.
They would have to test the drug in order to actually prove, like, is this a performance-enhancing drug? We've seen Metal Gear Solid Snake taking diazepam to aim the sniper. Diazepam, while you're cutting the honeycomb, would help, my friend.
Right, well, who knows? Maybe we'll get to that stage. Anyway,
you're it.
Thanos pushes 3 people, just kills them, doesn't really get called out on it. He continues to run. We see players getting to the end. We get the woman from episode 2, who is it Caneel? So, yeah, she's shooting a few guys. She notices the man from the father from the kid that had the disease. He's in the game. He's looking for money. So we're getting a couple of recognizable faces here. One contestant is caught moving. He's shot in the leg by one of the male soldiers. At the end, our hero, G1, he has to try and help him. Well, he doesn't have to, but he does. He comes back to get him. He tries to pull him over the line. The transgender character has to save the day as well. Good person, I guess, to help him over the line. So they both help this man over. I forget his number.
44.
40. Is that what he was? 44?
I think he was 44. Again, I think the problem with this is, though, is like, I wonder why the guy...
44 was that crazy woman.
It was something ending in 4.
444.
There you go, 444.
Which is pretty close to 44.
Absolutely.
Namdu.
But do you not feel like this was definitely purposeful? Him shooting him in the leg?
Yeah, so he pulls him over the... They both pull Namdu over the line, but then Kangel shoots him, and the male colleague goes, I mean, what did you do that for? And she says he was disqualified. So...
Which was absolutely right on the money. I'm thinking maybe there's a front man whispered in the big man's ear, here, I want you to injure one of them to force Ji-hun to help them. Potentially.
Yeah, I mean, potentially this woman's going by the book, though. She's killing any... Although, you know what, I mean, in episode 2, she doesn't seem like she's a bad person, so it's like, if this wasn't her shot, then why would she feel the need to shoot this guy? I mean, she's not going to be the one that gets repercussions for this. It wasn't her that took the shot on him.
But I totally agree, but she is a bad person.
No, she must be, but I just didn't get that feeling in episode 2 that she was a bad person.
Like, see anyone that says, oh, but she's forced into it, she needs to work for these people to get money in order to pay for or whatever. It's like, well, she could just enter the fucking game then.
No, but I think the fact that she killed this guy confirms that that's cold.
Oh, yeah, absolutely cold. And the problem is, for me, it's like, even if she left this guy alive, we've seen in the past they've actually, like, performed, like, surgery to heal people. They would not have helped him. He was literally... He got eliminated, he moved.
Well, maybe they weren't helping people, they were selling organs. Maybe that's what they're planning on doing again.
Well, I guess that could be...
Maybe there's some organ selling going on. But, yeah, for me, I think she just proved here that she's not a very nice person. But they passed the game. Everyone then is calling out Ji-hun. How did you know that? You're crazy, you're a plant, you're this, you're that. He reveals that he's played these games before. And that they're all going to die unless they vote to leave. So then we get a big vote. Half the room are agreeing with him, half the room are not agreeing with him. And when we get to the end of the vote, they're doing it in chronological order from 4, 5, 6 down to number 1. And we haven't seen number 1 to this point. Now, I don't think number 1... Well, I know number 1 did not play the red light, green light, or at least this guy didn't play red light, green light. So number 1 walks up, you don't get to see his face, you only get to see him from behind. It's tied in terms of votes, so this vote will decide it. He votes to continue playing the game. He turns round, and it is none other than the front man, who we've seen during red light, green light, drinking some whiskey. So he took the mask off, and he's now decided to enter the game. And obviously, Ji-hun doesn't know what the front man looks like, so this gives the front man a massive advantage. He can obviously manipulate things. He can try and control votes. He can try and control teams for the next games. And I wonder why he's doing this.
I think it's the correct decision, though. As much as it's still good having Ji-ho in there, Ji-hun, sorry, I think we needed someone else like this to be in there. I think we needed him to be. I think we needed the front man. Good ending to the episode. And you know what? It made sense for the guy not to have the tracker, because if they found the island this episode with like 4 episodes to go, I don't know, something was going to happen. So I'm sure they'll find the island with a few episodes to go, or maybe like the second last episode or whatever. But another good episode of Squid Game. But I just hope we get new games. I wouldn't like the same games to be repeated, even though I know for a fact the Honeycomb game is repeated with a pretty dodgy drawing of a triangle. Anyway, I will give this episode a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was an improvement on episode 2. I think so. Though for me, it still wasn't fantastic. I think a 7's fair. Yeah, I'll go with a 7. Still think the first episode's probably my favourite. But it will be interesting to see how the games play it now. And obviously, because we're in the games, we're getting introduced to a lot more characters. And now we've got the front man also in the games. Things could get very interesting. So yeah, I'll get a 7 out of 10 as well.
7 out of 10, guys. Still episode 4. Peace.
6 legs, 5 players, 5 minutes, but only 1 chance to complete the challenge. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment. It's time for Squid Game Episode 4, Season 2 review. This one was called 6 Legs, and no, there wasn't some sort of 6-leg scorpion attacking all the players, but there was a game that turned 10 legs.
And each one of those legs will be trembling later on in the game. But we do begin this episode with number 1. Alright, we know who number 1 is, but no one else in here knows who number 1 is. We've got a bit of bullying on. We've got Thanos. He's got the painted nails. I mean, he's not the greatest antagonist, right? Let's just put that out there. You look at the big man from season 1. He was top dog. People feared him. In this season, they've done a good job.
Big man. What's his name again?
Don't know his name. But see, what's his name? You couldn't tell me, so don't bury me for
Sangu or something.
Aye, Sangu, the guy that had the snake tattoo. He looked the part, man. He looked like a serious guy.
He looked like a guy that would kill you.
But I'll give the writers fair due. I think they've actually portrayed this Thanos guy as quite strong, considering the fact that he's basically had like no interaction with anyone that ain't a nerd. And when you actually when you look at number 1, you look at Ji-hun and guys like that, the guys that are in the Marine Corps, have they bottled Thanos at any point? Hell no, they haven't had any interaction with him, so they've kept him safe in that regard. But they're bullying the guy. Oh, the Bitcoin, you shafted us. I mean, how long are they going to go on at this guy?
You know what?
For this?
I don't think Thanos feels like the antagonist, but I think the reason for that could be the fact that the front man is in there, and they don't want a real bad antagonist in the games because it maybe would overshadow him. I mean, is that the reason?
I think so.
Possibly. But, I mean, we've seen in the original
But does
game,
it not make sense, though, to have an antagonist still, even if you are going to turn
well,
this
I do
guy?
think, like I said, I do believe Thanos is an antagonist. I just don't think he should be the antagonist. We've got that old guy as well, number 100 or whatever. And again, he feels like a bad guy, and maybe they will develop a bit more. But as for right now, Thanos and his little sidekick, they feel like the only two antagonists of the players. And, you know, it's just a different dynamic because, I mean, in the original game, you did feel like the players, you feel like Jinhu wasn't really safe, and this you do kind of feel like he's alright. I just don't think Thanos is going to walk over and start beating him up anytime soon.
Yeah, like when you've
Thanos might pick on Mr. Gamecoin that owes him money, but he's not going to...
Like when Ji-hun whips out, I'll be first watch, we need to keep safe. I don't think it was this episode, it might be episode 5, but it's like...
I hadn't really seen anything up to that point.
To suggest that?
No.
You could say it's PTSD from his first time go around, potentially.
Or you could say it's because he noticed the fork inside the food, but that's episode 5 and we're not here to talk about that, so...
The fork inside the food was episode 6, so we're even jumping further ahead
well,
there.
I mean, that's just boom.
But he was protecting people in like episode 5. He was keeping guard in episode 5. Is what it is. Anyway, let's go.
But nothing happened in episode 5, so maybe it was wrong to feel that. But in episode 6, he was right, wasn't he? 'Cause...
Yeah, absolutely. But as I say here, number 1, he deals with these guys, and you quite clearly see that this guy's a serious guy here, displaying his ability. Like he was a part of the Marine Corps, because he's whipping out all these manoeuvres. And honestly, he's a man to be scared of. And when he tells these guys his backstory, Young Seal, that's not his name. We know him as the front man. We know him as the cop's brother. He's a serious man. Speaking of the cop, right, to sum up those guys, they go out on the boat. Turns out the weather's too bad to move, but they've got a decent team. They've got Team A and Team B. We're going to go out to these islands. We're going to investigate rather quickly, but we can't do it yet, can we? Because guess what? The weather's come in. And also, they can't find the island in episode 3 when you've 4 episodes to go. You understand where I'm coming from? We need these games to go through. They're like, 6 days remaining, or 5 days. We've only got 4 days to find out when these games end. And you go, but as for them, do you think the cop and the loan shark guy have kind of went down a wee bit in the last few episodes? They felt so prominent before Ji-hun went in. And now they're just like, they're just sitting on a boat.
They've taken a back seat.
And it makes sense. You can't have them, like, we're not going to spend 20 minutes of the episode of them catching fish.
No, we're not, but I mean, I do feel like a lot of that stuff is filler. We get a bit more bonding between the front man and Ji-hun.
Despite their differences, obviously one wanted to go home, one didn't, but it's always a close vote. Number 1, he's the guy that essentially made them stay. I need to fight for my wife that's sick. It's interesting that he's using the same, story that actually happened to him in the original game. So we've got 2 original winners here. How great is that?
Aye, so 2 original winners, got a little sob story to make him feel not like a bad guy. So
Compassionate, more relatable. Jihan's like, yes.
I like it.
He also slipped. He called him Jihan. He's like, oh, I heard your buddy call you Jihan.
Yeah, we then get a bit more of Marine stuff. So we get
Marine Corps! Whipping out the muscles, whipping out the tattoos, whipping out all that good stuff. That's what we're here to see. Thought this guy was a wee bit cringy. Also, Jihan's wee pal that is in the Marines doesn't really look like a Marine. I get it was a decent time ago, but this kid, like, bound, oh, next way I'm going to vote your way, Chief, because you're my commander-in-chief and you're the big man and we're all Marines, and he gets laughed at later on in the show, like, but I mean, I think this Marine talk was just going one step too far. We also got more talk between the mother, son, the tranny. They were all getting, what?
No.
Well, what's wrong with that?
Oh,
The transgender?
that's alright.
Is that the correct terminology
I
we
believe
use?
so, aye.
Have we gone woke?
No, never gonna woke here.
But I tell you what, Squid Games went woke because she's getting forced down our throat. You know, this is season 2, man. It's like greeting. Oh, I had to vote this way, man. I needed to get my gender reaffirming surgery, and it's just like I think you need to take 2 steps back, man, and reel it in. No, I think so. With Netflix,
Agreed.
and it's like, well, why are Netflix doing this? Well, I'll tell you why they're doing it, right? It's 2020, it's 2025, guys, no 2024, but it is fucking ridiculous. Look at the people are in here because they're in debt. Like, their lives are at stake. And she's in here because she wants to change gender. Well, he's in here, whatever it is. He's in here because he wants to change gender. Is it not a ridiculous way to risk your life? Oh, but they didn't know they were risking their life. Well, no, well, they do now. And they're still risking their life.
Aye, well, I mean, that does make a bit of sense. Like,
Does it?
well, they didn't know the game, so yeah, I mean, you could argue, like,
Yeah, but they're still even voting to stay.
well, that's the point that I would say is retarded.
Also, you've got Mr. 100. Oh, guys, you need to stay because look up. If we make it through the next one, we get out with 300 million won each. And it's like, do you really though?
But
Because
this guy said he's like 10 billion won in debt.
yeah, we worked.
I mean,
out,
this
like,
guy needs to win with less than
5.
any more than 4 people that win it alongside him.
He's humped.
He isn't paying off his debt.
Yeah, so I mean, him wanting people to survive should be at the window.
Plus, I mean, I can understand Jihan not knowing the first time around, but I think it's pretty obvious, right? This isn't a game where, and I mean, Game 3 proved it, but this isn't a game where all 456 players can win. And you could argue that none of the players would want that because it would only be for, what, 1 million won, and that's worth nothing, really. But, you know, like, the likelihood is, I mean, people are going to die every single round. And so, yeah, there's some games where everybody can make it through, but there's other games where you can only make it through at the expense of somebody else.
Yeah.
And that's why I just don't, like, see if you're wanting to continue playing, I don't think you can be a good guy. I don't think you can be nice or compassionate or consider yourself to have friends in there because, like Jihan says, like, I think it's in episode 5, it's like, you know, what if the next game we're having to kill each other to survive? It's like, well, that's true. If you're voting to continue, then you are voting knowing that it may come to you having to complete the game at the expense of one of your players that you've been, you know, bonding with over the last few days. So, I mean, I don't think you can continue voting in the game and still be a good guy. I mean, to this point, maybe, but I think after we see in the 3rd game where people are guaranteed to die, then I think after that it becomes, morally you're not a good person if you're continuing to go on.
I agree. G. Hutton then explains how he thinks the next game is going to be the game where, what's that bread they have to lick?
I can't remember. It's not the bread. It's like a gin. It's like some sort of cookie.
The cookie game, right? So he's like, oh, it'll be a triangle, but then he has a nightmare where it's like the most complicated triangle of all time. And I actually thought they were going to have to draw this. I actually liked this game. Did I enjoy it? But then you can't just repeat the same games, I guess. You do need to spice things up. So when they eventually get there...
Well, I think that new shape would have spiced things up, absolutely. But I still thought it was a pretty good scene where they did it in a dream scenario, a hallucination or a dream. So
fuck does Jihan?
And everyone's looking on thinking, you know, why the fuck did you tell us to pick that? So, no, I mean, I did enjoy that.
Yeah, I mean, as for the 6 legs game, they all had to split up into teams of 5. I mean, game 1... was throwing a rock at another rock. Game 2 was the 5 dice.
Game 1's Kadeki or whatever it's called. Game
Alright.
2's the rock throwing one.
Kadeki, throwing your blue thing and hitting the red thing, and then it flips it.
Game 2 is throwing a rock. Game 3 is the dice things. Game 4
the spin top
is the spin top, and Game 5 is doing like 5 keep you up essentially. So
what would you want? It's the rock or the keep you uppies?
The rock.
The rock. Yeah, I want the rock as well. But
honestly, man, I think the hardest. I wouldn't like to do the first one, the cadet. I don't know, because we've seen Jihan play that in the subway, and he fucking took. He must have took about half an hour. How many attempts did he take? How many times did he get slapped in season 1?
A lot. I'll admit, like, see the dice one. That's hard. That's a tough one. You've also got other ones like the spinning top one. That's about technique. If you can't release that,
the keep me uppies of the rock throwing, that's for the retards of this world.
Aye.
Here, what about Ali? What if he got the I'm sure. Remember, he only had like he was missing a couple of fingers in one hand.
Well, we'd have been humped then with a few of those games, but
so maybe there's a couple.
Yeah, I mean, the teams are 5. We see the son and mum. They're in the same team with the transgender and the pregnant woman, and also the voodoo lady. And then we've got our other team of Ji-hun, number 1, the 2 marine guys, and the other pregnant lady. So there's 2 pregnant ladies in there. They're off.
No, there's only 1 pregnant lady.
Is there?
Right. Yep, there's only 1 pregnant lady.
Really?
Yes.
I could have swore there was 2.
Nah.
Honestly, I would have bet my life if there was 2 pregnant ladies in this game. I'd have been dead.
Yeah, you'd have been dead.
But essentially, they can't show every group because it wouldn't make any sense. It'd be a bit boring.
Yeah, well,
they show the first 2 groups, and then they get to like game 3. Well, the other team, they get to game 1. They're sweating, man. The guy pisses himself. He finally manages to get
he's run out of time. He did it with about 15 seconds.
See that rock one? That's easy.
Aye, but we've seen that he failed a few times, so I mean, whatever. Then the 2 ones that they basically show have our main characters, and then
yeah, but that's episode 5.
All right, well, here the main one that they show from this game have our second core main characters, and you've got Dong Yuan and his mother Aishim, and they're teaming up with Guk Hee and Sung Hung, and I believe the last person was Young Mi.
Young Mi.
Aye,
I thought she was pregnant though.
Nah, not pregnant. But I mean, if she was pregnant, I've missed that. I don't think they would have 2 pregnant people on the show. That to me kind of.
But I thought the transgender took her death. Spoiler. Extremely. I thought they were so they wanted her to survive because she was pregnant.
No, I just think they bonded a wee bit. Although I don't think we really got to see the bonding that much, to be fair. So they're playing their game, and I mean the teamwork's not great.
Think of the Korean War.
The teamwork's not great, but eventually they do get to the last game, where it is the keep you uppy game, and you got Sung Hun, and she is the one playing it, and she tells her group to turn around. And they do, they look away, but then she turns around to like all the other remaining players, and at this point I think you've got about 200, well over 200 in the room, and she tells them all to look away, and they all look away.
Like, why would Thanos look away?
Yeah, why would the old guy look away? Because these people are well aware that the more people that die, like the more money they're going to get. So if looking at her puts her off, then it makes more sense, and we later find out, spoiler alert, the reason she wanted them to look away is because she's not finished with her surgery yet, and she would have found it a bit awkward doing that with people looking at her, and I guess it's because of the body movement, and maybe the body would be moving, and
no, but she said, yeah, you're right.
But it just felt
she also said, I don't want people looking at me when I'm not who I want to be yet. It's like, hold on, you were just completely slapping the shit at the voodoo lady, and everyone's looking at you play the fucking game anyway.
Or could it be because that's considered maybe a boys' game, and she was incredibly good at it?
Well, maybe why don't you do a different game then?
Well, she wants to do a game that she's going to pass.
Well, why doesn't she do a game that's more in touch with her feminine side?
Because she wanted to do a game she's going to pass.
Well, you know what? No, it doesn't work both ways.
I don't know if
it's just woke, man. It's forced. Why would no? But you're right. So you trying to tell me Loan Shark Man is going to look away? Not Loan Shark Man. The guy.
Loan Shark Man's not even in the game, mate. So I don't
No, he's
know.
not.
He can't look.
No, you're the snake tattoo man for the first season. Try to tell me he's going to look away.
I don't know. It just didn't make any sense to me.
And what I don't like about these games, the season 2 so far, is like they all just result in someone getting shot by the pink guys. I liked season 1. See the glass bridge. I think that's by far the best game.
Aye, because there's like consequences for your numbers as well.
Aye.
I mean, that's the only game we've really seen where there's not an even playing field. Although you do get the option of picking your number. I know you could argue that the tug of the. I mean, but you could argue that the shape thing as well. I mean, that's not really an even playing field, but you're picking that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would just love to see the glass bridge game. I think the glass bridge game is game number 1. Would be fantastic.
Nah, you couldn't kill that many people off. So it wouldn't be fantastic.
No, it could be controlled to a degree.
How?
Well, because there was like 16 steps.
You mean it gets played multiple times?
Maybe multiple times. Just played the once. But like an unlimited time limit.
But if there's only 16 steps, that means at most only 16 people are dying. That's not really eliminating the amount of people they want.
I guess.
What do you mean you guess? I mean, that's...
How many people were left in there at season 1 though when they played that?
There's 16, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure there's 16.
So that's when it works. Anyway, I mean, I just think that was the best game. I would like more games like that. I think just them failing and them getting shot, it's a bit all generic, isn't it?
I agree, but...
But again, I mean, most games, I mean, even season 1 when they had the whole marbles game.
Yeah, but up to this
By the way he got manipulated in season 1, I just fucking remembered that. Indian man.
Retard. But up to this point in season 1, the two games were very similar. You got shot anyway. Well, red light, green light is literally the same, and then this game that they played here, 6
No,
legs.
I feel red light, green light, red light is better though because it's by like a sniper.
Yeah, but in 6 legs you get killed the same way you do as you with the whole cookie thing.
No, you do.
So I mean, I don't really see what the difference there is. Anyway, that group complete it. Similar groups don't, and that's pretty much the end of the episode.
Yeah, and I thought it was a good episode. What will I give it? 10. I'll give it a 7.
Alright, we got some bonding with the people, our core group of characters. I thought the 6 leg game was...
Never trust number 1, G-Hunt.
Yeah, I mean, see if G-Hunt ever goes... So let's say we have a third fucking game. I mean, how's this guy ever going to trust number 1 again?
I don't think he's clocked onto us, the fact he's number 1 yet.
No, he can't.
What do you mean he can't?
How could he possibly have?
Because he's number 1. I'm saying, like, why is he not clocked on? Like, oh fuck, you're number 1. Last time I was in with a guy who was number 1, he was shite. That's what I mean. I don't mean he's clocked on to here. You're the front man.
Well,
I just mean the number.
I guess. Anyway, that's it, guys. We'll catch you in the next one. You give it a 7. I'll give it a 7 as well.
7.
I think that the play. I don't think Squid Game does a good job of ending episodes.
No.
I think I'd rather just see the full game play out in an episode. I don't really like when one game continues into 2 episodes.
No.
And I'm pretty sure they did that with the tug of war one in season 1.
Yeah.
And I wasn't a big fan of that.
No.
I just think it should be a game.
And also with this episode, we're more than halfway.
But I think they do that just to try and stretch one game out for 2 episodes.
Oh, absolutely.
Because they don't want to have an episode without a game. So I think that's the reason for doing it.
I like that then. That makes sense to me.
Well,
It saves them having to do like extra games. And it saves them money. You know what, man? It saves them money. Fucking money. This is a cash cow. I'm surprised this is only going 3 seasons, by the way, or 2 seasons, but we're calling it 3.
They say that. I mean, who's to say after a 3rd season they're not like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying this show wouldn't get old, right? And I think it does need recurring characters. But what I do like about it is like the fact that you've got like an established main group, and you do feel like by the end of it, 90% of them will be dead.
Right.
And I think that is a good thing about a TV show with Jeopardy. Some TV shows just don't kill people. Anyway, 7 out of 10. Peace.
One more game! It echoed throughout the Squid Games arena. Welcome back to Fog Entertainment. It's Season 2, Episode 5. We rejoin our heroes and our one villain, one in particular, 001, not quite 007, but I tell you what, you take away 2, you've got 5 members of the group trying to survive, trying to make it through. We see an action-packed montage this episode of people dying, people living. They get to game 1, they get to game 5. Some people barely make it, some people barely don't, right? It's just, you have to kill people off. The spinning top, that's probably the worst one for me.
What do you mean you barely don't make it? If you don't make it, you don't make it.
Yeah, you barely don't make it. I.e., you get close and they shoot you.
That doesn't make any sense.
Says who?
Me.
Well,
and anyone who can grasp the English language.
Well, you're not one of them, right? And these Koreans certainly don't grasp the English language, alright? Because we don't grasp Korean. We know how good we are, folks. We watch it in English dubbed. Do you know, there's not one person I know that watches it in English dubbed.
The good people watch it in English dubbed?
No, it's dumbed down, man, to like Somalian level IQ.
It's not that bad, come
Jihan,
on.
do you take milk with your tea? It's like, alright then, Jihan. No, it's awful. I watched the first...
To be fair, one of the best, probably the best Korean show I've ever watched, didn't have dubbing.
I watched the first episode and a half with no dubbing, and it was better than what I've seen since then.
Nah, I think
People are getting killed and Jihan's like, oh. It's like, come on. Reel it in, Jihan. Anyway, essentially it comes down to 2 groups. Oh, there's no pressure on us, guys, because no one's looking.
I don't think he's actually pronounced the H in it, by the way.
Jihoon.
I think it's more like a silent H.
Jihoon.
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 Jihoon. Anyway, right, they're down to the last 2 groups. There's 10 of them left. We've got our good group and the other good group, but we don't know any of their names. Oh, we'll see yous at the end of it. So the first 3 pretty much passed with ease. The Rock, bang, smashed. Gachi smacked off the floor. Then the whole dice picked them up, bang, 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 bang. Then it gets to number 1.
I tell you what, I like the wee theme that was playing during this.
I liked it too. But the arse went with number 1.
And when you had, what was his name? John Hee. Oh no, Deho. When he was doing the whole...
Marine Corps.
When he was doing the whole dice thing, man, he just made it look like, I mean, it was flawless.
Oh, he did.
It was probably the easiest looking... I know the other 2 did theirs on the first attempt, but it's just the way he done his, man. It's probably the easiest anyone's ever made a Squid Game look.
I totally agree.
I will say that number 1 in Season 1 did make a red light, green light look pretty easy.
He did. I knew something was up when he was bossing that, man.
Now, apparently, if you watch back, there weren't the censors. He wasn't even being censored. I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not. Heard that could be true.
Maybe it doesn't go near pish.
Well, apparently he couldn't lose. Even in the tug of war, apparently he wasn't even tied to the thing, which I never noticed. Like, but
is that not bullshit though? Oh, I wanted to feel the rush of the games.
Couldn't they fucking die?
Come on.
Well, what would have happened if he picked Umbrella? He'd have been absolutely screwed.
No, I tell you what though, I honestly get the feeling here with number 1 that he is willing to die. Now, bearing in mind, we haven't really played any games that's put him at serious risk.
Well, he put himself at serious risk here because it's his time to do the whole spinning wheel deal, and he just can't do it. He can't make the top thing spin. He can't make the gadget spin, and then he wraps it up. He goes to spin it and literally somehow tosses it 180 degrees in the opposite direction, and it lands pretty much all the way back at the start of the game. And he turns around and says to his gang, "Sorry guys, that one was on me." It's like, oh, no fucking shit.
I know he fired it like halfway across Korea.
Are you going to blame Jihan?
Jihan, but they make it through with about 19 seconds to the next game, and then he's doing the keepy uppies. The 5th one looks too far in front, but then number 1 comes up good, stretches forward, clips it off Jihoon, and we survive.
Jihoon gets the last touch there, but Jihoon may have scored the goal, but the assist certainly came from the front man. And we then see them just cross the line, and they cross the line with about 2 seconds to go, 3 seconds to go. So had number 1, had the front man not assisted Jihoon and getting that 5th touch, then our team would have 100% been dead because there would have been no enough time to restart this. They cross the line, they're all happy, but their happiness kind of ends when we hear 5 gunshots, and it is the other team. They didn't make it. I think they had just completed their 5th game, but they didn't have enough time to get round. And you know what? that kind of fucking sucks. I'm not saying that they should make exceptions, but I don't know, maybe the finish line should have just been once you complete the 5th game.
Maybe.
Yeah, say you're on the 5th game with like 5 seconds to go, you may as well just get up.
Yeah, and the 5th one with the keep you up, he's like, but...
Realistically, how much time do you need, do you think, getting into that 5th game? I'd say you probably need over 20 seconds.
Yeah, minimum 20 seconds. But it's a tough one, like, but I look at this game and
Although,
think...
to be honest, I mean, 5 keep you up, you could probably do in less than 5 seconds.
I think this game, though, was a wee bit unrealistic, right? Because they would pass it, and they would all look at each other and like, oh, yeah. It's like, you'd be fucking dragging them to the next game. There wouldn't be any time wasting. Oh, congratulations.
Do you mean in general, or do you mean this?
No, in general, like, most groups are, like, taking the piss. Like, oh, brilliant. Good, well done, team. Yeah.
Maybe,
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Ji-hun, Ji-hun.
Maybe in the Korean version they don't do that. Maybe they're all super serious, you know. Like,
maybe for us, their numbers go above fucking 2. But, yeah, I mean...
Maybe 001, that's the IQ.
Yeah, I mean, they get back. They pretty much... They do the whole vote. I don't like the voting after every game. It gives them like an opt-out, doesn't it?
You know, it's. I think it's too repetitive.
Yeah. Are you going to vote this way?
And to me, it's just. I mean, it does kind of drag the episode out. I agree with I think the original voting after the first game in season 1 was good because everybody knew what they were doing, and I think that it should be a thing after maybe the first game, once players actually realise what's in store for them. But I mean, if you're willing to say yes after game 1, you've seen people die, then you're probably willing to go all the way, aren't you?
No, I agree.
And if you're willing to say no after the first game, then I'm going to bet that you're because if you're willing to, let's say you do survive, the money, your share's just going to go up and up and up. I think it's unrealistic that all of a sudden you're going to be voting no, but then start voting yes to continue because you get greedy all of a sudden.
No, I know.
I just don't really see why a no vote would turn into a yes vote unless you were like being manipulated or something like that, or had something hanging over your head. You were being persuaded or whatever.
No, I totally agree, but it is repetitive, and then what you get is just a shit ton of downtime in between the games. Even with the extra voting after every game, they're just sitting there discussing the same old shit. It's like, you got stuff here with the transgender, the old woman, her son, and it's like, Mom, you're embarrassing me. You don't ask her personal questions like, so you're doing the game to fix your body? And it's like, that's what they're doing. And then they need to go to the toilet at night. She's like, you don't ask women, you don't stop women if you go into the toilet. That's personal. And then, alright, I'll let you two go. Because this old woman's going to piss herself, and then the transgender appears out of nowhere, and it's like, no, but see, honestly,
the triangle guy should have just shut the door and went, nah, you're not getting in.
No, but see to me, right, this made the transgender look like a predator. No, it did. It was like, oh, look, I was, but you know what, obviously they're not going to write it that way, but...
Or is it just a coincidence and she needed a toilet at the same time?
Why not just appear with the three of them? What purpose did it serve with her sneaking up at the end?
I don't know, but obviously nothing happens because...
And how does the triangle guy know that she needs to go to the women's toilet?
It'd be funny if he closed the door and went, hi, your toilet's over there.
Your toilet's over there, buddy. Yeah, but I mean, that was just a bit filler. You got them just more discussing the games, and the Marine Corps guy, he's like, oh, yeah, I'm sorry, guys, I don't know why I voted that way. One more game. But then, number 100, who's like, I need the money, I'm 27 billion trillion won in debt. He's like, one more game, and
he needs more than one more game. Was he on about?
No, one more game might suit him if everyone else dies. But he needs like everyone to die.
Yeah, but I mean, realistically, man, you can see that the rate people are dropping off, man. It's unlikely that the amount of people that he needs to die are going to die next episode.
No, I agree. But I mean,
and especially see that with that Mingo game, I think it's pretty clear that the games are designed, I think, to get you down to the bare bones for the last game. That's the way. And I know we've only seen it once, and technically it would have been free. In the first series, had Chung Su or whatever his name was, or Chu Won, had he not killed the model. But I think it's unlikely you're going to get into the 6th game with 20 people remaining. But here, maybe that would make this season a bit different. I think the thing that is too predictable is, well, obviously, number 1 and Jihan can't really, because he's exited the game, but I don't know, I hope when we get to the final game, it's not just... But then again, it's like, how are we going to get a final game? Because Jihan's not going to be willing to kill anybody. Unless he is up against...
like-minded fellows. Or an evil person.
I like the front man, but the front man appears... Could the front man join the games again? I mean, maybe.
Well, I didn't know he dropped out. Did he drop it?
Well, I mean, boom. Spoiler there, guys, but...
he dropped out. He just fucking walked out. He just said, well, I'll watch it.
Yeah, to make his link. Goodbye.
Anyway, well, right, Thanos and his wee buddy took drugs. See the next time they mention... Oh. Do you know, apparently this Thanos guy did this for free to get some free publicity. He got fired for his K-pop group because he was taking drugs. And then he's on a TV show where all he does is take drugs. That's just weird to me. Episode ends where they go to mingle the game, which looks good. You know what? I thought this game was alright, but when the episode ended, I thought the game was going to be like a merry-go-round, and if you fell off it, it was like going to be barbed wire or like, chainsaws or something on the outside, like a saw trap. But, we're going to run and hide behind doors. It's like, it just sounds a bit shite, doesn't it?
I thought it was alright. I think you're bashing it.
No, I thought the game was good, but admit a merry-go-round Royal Rumble with like fucking saws at the buzz saws.
But then, what, it's supposed to be fair. What fairness would it be if you just stand on the outside?
Well, what fairness is it if you go first on the glass bridge? You know what I mean? Like, where do you draw
I know, but you draw the numbers there. You know what I mean?
Well, maybe you draw the number here. Like, you can pick number? Where you go. You pick where you go.
Not really.
You go row 1 or row 2. Row 2's inside, row 1's outside.
You're fucking lit. Anyway, that was it really. We get another vote, don't we? Yeah, and pretty much that's it.
They vote to stay because that's what we do.
Yes.
Anyway, I'm going to give...
Well, all the main cast, the good guys vote to go because they want to leave, they want to get here.
Tell you what, there's a lot of main characters left. So, we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, there is a lot of main characters.
I'll give it a...
We'll see what happens.
I'll give it a 6 out of 10. I thought it was pretty basic.
One more game. I liked the actual game that they played. And I thought it was cool seeing the frontman fuck up on purpose. I mean, just I don't know, I guess to put Gian under pressure. But yeah, I do think that after that, it did kind of drag, wasn't it? It was just more discussions about another vote.
Yeah.
Then, by the time they do get led into the game, it ends. I mean, if we compare... if we compare Season 1 to Season 2, man, there was just more games in Season 1. And you feel like with Season 1 being the introduction season, so I feel like Season 2 should have had more games, because you already know what you're getting.
True, but I guess the whole gimmick is that it's supposed to be a game system that... It's flawed, because how can you make the games harder for the new round of contestants when it's supposed to be like an even playing field? You know what I mean? It's not supposed to be like, oh, this is Season 2. It's supposed, like, obviously we're watching it as Season 2, but in the actual Squid Game world, it's not set up to make the games harder.
No, I'm not
for
saying
us.
the game should be harder. I just think at this point, after Episode 5, we should have seen more than 2 games.
I agree.
Or we're about to get the third one, but...
Yeah, we'll see how it goes, guys.
Yeah.
I'm getting a 6 out of 10. What are you getting it?
I'll get a 7. Like, but I mean,
Ooh, 6.5 out of 10. 2 episodes to go. We'll review them soon. Till then, peace.
Are you an O or are you an X? But the big question is, who's going to die before they get to vote next? Welcome back, guys. The Fog Entertainment here for Squid Game Season 2, Episode 6. This one was called OX, and we got the continuation of the third game from Season 2. I say we got the continuation, essentially we got the full game, because in the last episode we were led into it and the game was about to start, but it didn't really start, and then we got the full mingle game here. So I like it when we get to see one game, an episode. I know that sometimes they can drag an episode into a game into 2 different episodes, but for me, I like it when they kind of focus on one game per episode, and That's what they did here. It was an interesting game. It was a new game. It's not what I was expecting, to be honest. I don't know what I was actually expecting, but this wheel where you have to run into doors, that wasn't really it.
No, I mean, as you may have heard in the episode 5 review, I was expecting a merry-go-round with buzzsaws at the side of it, but here you don't get what you want. It was like Takeshi's Castle, wasn't it? Pick the right door, smash through the right door, but I think this was the game to kill more people off. Only one person we really know died. And to be honest, who even is she?
Yeah, but they did kill off a lot of the and a lot of the numbers dwindled, but maybe not many characters and maybe not any name characters died. And in fact, she's the only one that you'd argue we had any idea. Everyone else was just like random numbers at the end of the day. But we get the Mingle game, so basically they give you a number. Then that said number, a group of that said number have to go into a door, and if you get the right number, if you got the right amount of people, then you survive, and then you play the next round. If you don't have the right amount of people, then you die. So, I mean, we start off where they're in groups of 5, essentially, because they won the last game, which was a 5-game person. But unfortunately for them, none of the numbers in this game were 5. We start off at 10, and then we had like our 2 main groups. They joined up for the first game of Mingle, so you get 10 people into the one door, and it's like, see at the beginning there's like what, 50, many doors is there? 50 doors?
Yeah, 50 doors.
So that means there was room for 500 people. But we see that what's it, Budok, what's the military guy called, the guy with the hair, Bokdo,
The Marine Corps.
Deho. So we see the group. Deho is leading the line, and he opens one of the doors, and you've got the old guy in there, number 100. He's like, "Piss off! This is our room." But it's like there's 50 rooms at this point, and it's 10 people to a room. That's 500 people that can survive this game. There was only about 200 odd people that went into this.
Yeah.
So realistically, the only people that should have not survived the first game was leftovers of 10.
Yes. Yeah, if you had an even number here and it ended on a 10,
If you'd multiple
everyone survives.
but we seen that there was not, so like I don't know what happened.
It's just the confusion, right? If you were giving them like 10 minutes per round, then yes, but you're giving them like 20 seconds.
Let's say, for example, there was 213 people got into this game. Only 3 should have died in the first round.
Yep.
And then, like, when the numbers are getting smaller, like, less people should be dying. But then again, when the numbers are smaller, less people can fit into a room.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they designed. So we keep getting it. There is one where they need to go into, I believe, 6 in a room. And we have the trans woman. She loses her friend. See, what's her friend called? Minsu? Is it Minsu?
I think it's Minsu. Yeah, it's Minsu. Definitely Minsu. And it's for the YouTuber guy who had the bitcoins.
Minsu. So she gets knocked over. She doesn't make it into the room in time, and then the failed coin master guy, he jumps into the room. He claims that he was saving them. The trans woman thinks that he was saving himself, and he killed Minsu. But then his pregnant girlfriend says that no, he's telling the truth and that there wasn't enough time. Do you think he sacrificed Minsu? Do you think he did the right thing to save himself?
He did something they would all do if they needed to.
Yeah, I mean, what's this?
I'm sick of this fucking Oh, you killed Minsu. He beat her to the door.
No.
He saved himself.
Minsu volunteered to sign up for a game that can lead to death.
Yeah.
This guy's
It's not like Thanos in Red Light, Green Light, where he fucking just pushed 3 people and got them killed.
Yeah, so Minsu dies. We get down to the last game, and you know we get different combinations, different characters switching up. We get down to the last game, and we have Jihan's best friend. He has to go with the front man. They manage to get into a room, but it's already been occupied. The front man tells the guy to get out, but the man's not leaving. He's like, nah, I was here first. So with less than 10 seconds to go, front man grabs him in a chokehold, and with a few seconds remaining, snaps his neck.
And obviously killing him renders him unable to continue, so it only counts as 2 people in the room. I didn't really get Jihan's best friend here. You know why? Because it's like, if he leaves them alone, all three of them die. The front man could have been like, right, Fatty, Marine Corps, you go. I mean, I guess the front man could have been like, right, I'm out myself, but at the same time here, why did he take this so thick? I know he just killed a guy, right? And that's mental. But is it not as justified as you're going to get in the Squid Games?
Well, I'll put it this way, if he doesn't kill him, all three of them die.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could say he could have fucking dragged him out the room. And I think Frontman's easily got the ability to do that, but that would kill him anyway.
I mean, he probably did, but let's be honest, what made for a better television? What made for a better scene? If he just bundled the guy out the front door, if he actually kills him.
Yeah, but also dragging him to the front door might take longer than like the 9 seconds and choking him out, so...
And what if you
it's a risk.
And what if there's a second to go and he actually manages to push you out the door?
Yeah. I think this was as justified as you can get. But Minsu, like you said, she's dead. This guy got choked out, he's dead, but no one else really dies. I thought this game had a lot of potential. I thought it was alright, but I feel like...
I mean, a lot of people died, but nobody that we knew.
Yeah, like everyone that's alive, and then like you get the vote again, and then they all decide to stay.
Yeah, so Young Bae, G1's friend, he's obviously now got doubts about the front man. He doesn't trust him. He tries to tell Ji-hun. He tries to tell Dae-ho, but he can't really say anything because every time he tries to, they get interrupted. They have another vote. They realise that they need 6 people to turn. Ji-hun thinks that they should try and get everybody to change their vote, but the front man thinks that's a bad idea. He thinks that they should just let it naturally play out, or else it could start a riot, it could start trouble if the O's see that the X's are trying to get the game stopped. Dae-ho kind of sides with the front man. And I mean, it makes sense. I think it's attracting unnecessary attention if you're going around and basically asking all the... I mean, because then you're going to get the O's are just going to kind of do the same to the X's, aren't they?
Yeah, no,
so,
absolutely.
I mean, I think the money's went up. I think the smart thing to do is just hope that 6 people change their mind.
I just think they've created, though, this like forced antagonistic feeling between the groups. It felt natural in season 1 because you had evil people, but in this it's more just their mindset rather than like who they actually are, if you know what I mean? And that is, I mean, it sucks to a degree, I guess, but we see also let's talk about Jun-ho. Haven't really talked about him in a while.
Aye, so Jun-ho, honestly,
they open a booby trap, he blows up, hey, should we not go back to shore? This guy needs proper burial.
Attention.
Oh, he's dead.
Well, the other guy.
Well, yeah, but I think something about this sailor is off. I think he might be in on it. He wanted to go back. He doesn't want... I don't know.
I'm not too sure about that. I mean, he did rescue Jun-ho. He could have just killed him if he was in on it.
Maybe he's been in on it since. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he's been paid off.
Maybe it's just the English dubbing. Something seemed off.
That could certainly be it. But, I mean, for me, I think the Jun-ho character's been a big disappointment.
I would have liked him in the game.
Yeah,
Imagine him with his brother. I know that would have ruined... But then, he's not revealed to Jun-ho that number 1 is his brother. You know what I mean? Like, he kept it quiet to the authorities and things like that, so I guess you could have put him in the game.
I know, but Jun-ho doesn't know that number 1's his brother.
No, I know, I'm just talking about, like, he's had opportunities to tell, like, authorities, and I get it doesn't make any sense for him to tell Ji-hun, but it's like, I would have liked Jun-ho to be in the game, but then I would have liked the number 2 loan shark to be in the games. He's quite funny.
Yeah, no, I like him. I think he's a good addition. I like the other loan shark as well. I thought episode 1 was... I think episode 1's the peak so far.
Yep. Seen a lot of people hating it, though.
No, yeah, I know a lot of people saying, it was crap, and they just want to get straight into the games. I mean, sometimes you need... I thought episode 1 did a very good job. I personally thought episode 1... I thought it had a great ending as well. I thought it, like, built up and there was tension as well, so I did enjoy episode 1. Very disappointed, though, with Jun-ho and... just basically the group that are trying to find the island that the games are being played on. It honestly does feel like filler.
No, it does, but what I would say is as well here, I mean, that's wrapped up there, but episode pretty much ends with the X's and O's getting each other's faces in the bathroom.
Well, we have a vote before that.
We do have a vote before it. But again, it's like these scenes are just fucking repetitive. Like, what is there to say? Like, number 1, is he going to vote that way? We can't he's voted our way, it's alright. Let's go to the bathroom.
Yeah, so we need 6 votes to tie and 7 votes to win. So they know that they're getting a couple of guaranteed votes because Jung Bae, he G1's best friend, he says he's going to change his vote. He's going to be an X. We have the son of the mother, number 7, Young Sik. He's going to change his vote. So they know after that they only need 4 more to tie. And we get down to like the last 4 people. And one of the... I think so at this point they're tied, I believe. I believe they're tied, aren't they, at this point?
Yep. No, they're not tied. They're one behind or something.
Yeah, so, I mean, they're one behind. Yeah, so they're one behind, and then...
Number 1, he thinks number 1 ain't going to vote for them. He's in mid explaining that he can't be trusted, then he does vote for them.
No, that's not what happened. They were one behind. 3 votes to go. Now, Young Sik was up next, number 7, and he was an O. Now, if he switches, that ties up the game, and he promised his mum that he would switch. And the 2 remaining players were the front man, and I believe number 4, a female, that had also voted X. So they were going to assume the last 2 votes were going to be an X. So if Young Sik keeps his vote, if he continues the game, that would put the O's 2 in front, but with 2 X's still to go. He changes his vote like he said he would. That ties up the game. That makes it a level vote with 2 votes to go. And Team X, they're celebrating because they believe that the last 2 remaining votes will just continue to vote X, and they will be able to lead by 2 votes. The games will end, and you just kind of see the front man in number 4 in the background, but it's like the front man's standing behind her, and it's like it's not really that noticeable, but you do notice that they're both in the background, like kind of in the distance. And while the X team are celebrating, the next minute the woman walks up, hits the button, and then you just see all the O's celebrating, and they go 1 point up. She switches her O. She switches her X to an O, joins the O group. This means that the O's are 1 in front. The front man then goes up, keeps his word. He continues to vote X, and this ties things up. And in the end, we have to settle for a tie. They're going to do a revote, but it's not going to be until the next day. I personally think the front man must have threatened this woman, or at least that's what I believe, because obviously he's not going to allow the games to end, and I think he would rather her vote than him do a betrayal. Now, I guess you could argue at this point here, is it worth him? If it means he has to reveal who he is, or if it means he has to betray Ji-hun in order to keep the games going, he would do that. But we can see that he likes these mind games, he likes manipulating, he wants to be in there. So therefore, he can't still be close to Ji-hun, he can't still be on Team X if he votes O. So I do believe that he, and I've no proof, maybe this woman just magically changed her mind. She could have just decided, you know what, I want the money.
We can't confirm nor deny, but, you know, I can't disagree. Obviously, he would want to stay in Ji-hun's pocket as long as he can here, but fact of the matter is this, it's a draw. It will be voted for in a couple of hours.
Yeah, although, I mean, I guess he could, if he threatens her, then she shouts, oh, he's threatening me to, you know, that would look a bit shit for him as well, so I mean... But I do think it's a bit strange that they were isolated at the back of the room and all of a sudden she changed from an X to an O.
Guess they have to be isolated though. You know what I mean? It's not... That's just where they are.
Yeah, anyway, look, it's an even vote. They're going to vote tomorrow, but they get their food and Ji-hun realises that there's a knife in there. And
Knives and fork, baby.
He's basically getting flashbacks. He's getting PTSD. He's thinking that what happened in season 1 is going to happen again. People are going to kill each other. Not only does this increase the prize fund, but the kind of almost, you could argue that O's are being backed into a corner that if they don't kill off some X's that the games could end.
Yeah.
Now, in the first season, they never had that problem. So really, it was just bad people doing that. And obviously there was that group that was led by the Snake Man tattoo. I think his name was Dang Ho. But you know, they were just doing that because they wanted to A, take out some competition, and B, increase the prize fund. But at least in this season, I'm not justifying killing anybody, but You could argue that the O's perhaps believe that they need to kill off some X's in order for the games to continue, because there's going to be another vote tomorrow. We go into the bathroom. We have the X's. We got the Thanos and his little sidekick here trying to get the geeky guy to vote back, get him to be an O. He then gets confronted by the Coin Master. He basically tells him to leave him alone. X's stick up for X. O's stick up for O. We get a bit of a brawl. And when it looks like Thanos is maybe going to kill the Coin Master, he gets a fork up through the neck.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just sick of
Bit
this.
of a surprise, wasn't
It
expecting
was
that.
a surprise, but I'm just sick of this Bitcoin talk, man. It's like, how long you fucking hold a grudge over this guy for?
Yeah, and you know what? I thought it was a pretty good ending to the episode, but I am disappointed that it was Thanos that died, because to me, I think I would have killed off the other guy, the sidekick, if they had to kill off somebody. Thanos, to me, has been the only real antagonist. Yeah,
I guess he's not dead, mate. It's just a fork through the jaw.
We've got the other guy, the 100 guy, but he just seems like a shitebag, doesn't he?
Yeah, he just seems like the hostile middle-aged man. Doesn't seem anything more than that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't fear him as a threat. Not saying that Thanos is a threat, but you know what? It could be that they don't. The real antagonist is the front man, so it's like.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought this episode was better than 5. I'll give it a 7 out of 10.
You know, I think this episode was better. I did enjoy the game Mingle. I thought we had a good fight scene towards the end, and also another close vote. I'll give this one. You know what? I'll give this one an 8.
8 out of 10. That gets us a 7.5er.
And I guarantee that'll be higher than the final episode. So.
I'm looking forward to the final episode. I had a bit of intrigue going in. I thought Thanos might have lived, and that's 2 episode reviews.
Well, here, maybe he is alive, but normally when you get a fork through the neck, you're dead, like.
It was more the jaw than the neck.
And that doesn't kill you.
You have more chance of surviving through the jaw than the neck, mate.
Well, here, we're going to go and watch episode 7, guys, and we'll find out who's alive, we'll find out who's dead, we'll find out who's continuing the game, and we'll find out who's saying sayonara. We'll also find out who's got a dick and who's not. I'm looking at you, trans woman. Anyway, till next time.
Peace.
Friend or foe? Stay or leave? Dead or alive? And unfortunately for young Bay, he is the former. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment here for Squid Game Season 2, Episode 7. You can call it the Season 2 finale, or you can call it the Season 2 mid-season finale. Either one of them works for me, but you can also call it Young Bay's last episode, as unfortunately, he doesn't get to leave. He doesn't make the escape. He may be a friend of Ji-hun, but now he's just dead.
Yeah, he's going to
Spoiler alert.
He's going to end up cremated. I don't think any body parts are going to get salvaged from him. But you keep pushing this agenda that it's the mid-season finale. They are labelling it season 3, so I'm just going to call it the season 2 finale. As underwhelming and shit as it was, I'm just going to have to call it that.
You can call it whatever you want, but I think we all know that it's just season 2 split into 2 parts. But here,
Well, we all know. Name me one person that's agreed with you. Anyone I've seen is like, oh, I can't wait for season 3.
me, myself, and I.
Me, myself, and I. Well, let's get into it, guys. This episode for me, I can't remember the last time I was so disappointed with a TV show. Honestly. So hyped for season 2, even if we did have to wait 10 years. 6 episodes I thought were good. It was building towards something. And then they just undid it with a 30-minute shootout scene that was just fucking borderline ridiculous,
Yeah,
to be
look,
honest.
this episode dropped the ball, but let's just take episode 7 out the equation. Let's just take what you want to call the season 2 finale out the equation. Season 2 wasn't as good as season 1.
Oh, nowhere near. It was bogging compared to it, like.
But it was still pretty good.
No, it was still pretty good, but was it worth the wait? I mean, probably borderline not, but it was still alright. But the problem for me is I think it's not the 30-minute shootout scene that does it for me. It's Ji-hun pretty much going against his entire fucking list of principles. Sells it out the window. Even number 1 called him out on it. He's like, so sacrifice the smaller for the greater good. Oh, the greater good, Ji-hun.
You're sacrificing the few for the many. So, yeah, we get the continuation of the brawl in the bathroom. Thanos basically just bleeds out here. He dies.
Yep.
Gets stabbed again with the fork for a second time. Tries to grab onto player 333, but he locks himself in the bathroom. We then see Thanos' little friend. he uses the fork that's stuck inside of Thanos to stab an ex-player, and then he steals his drugs as well, because I guess that's what he needs. That's what he does.
That's what he needs to survive. And while this is all going on, the guards, they come in with the remaining guys who survived, and it's like, oh, the X's started it. No, the O's started it. You killed us first. You did this. You did that. I mean, at the end of the day, Thanos was going to kill number 333, so it was self-defense. I don't think Thanos.
I mean, was he?
It looked like he was turning his pink, man, as the suits they wear.
The uniforms, the outfits. Like, maybe he was. Either way, the X's blamed the O's blamed the X's, and then Jihan, they know they need one more person for the vote tomorrow. They need one O to become an X, and then they can leave. But the O's are like, well, why don't one of you guys stay, and then we'll see who really are the biggest pussies. So, like, we think that we're going to get to the next day. We think we're going to get the vote, but Jihan is looking at his food. He notices the forks, and he's thinking, they've gave us these forks for a reason. He doesn't believe that they're going to make it through the night. He thinks there's going to be brawls. He thinks there's going to be deaths. And we've seen that in Season 1. The same thing also happens. So Jihan determines, look, we can't wait till tomorrow. We won't survive. So he comes up with an elaborate plan that they're going to wait. They're going to basically hide when the lights go out tonight, and they're going to sacrifice a bunch of X's just so they've got a plan when the soldiers come in. Now, he does get called out on it by Young Il. So Young Il says, what you're basically going to do is you're going to sacrifice some of the X's just so we can survive. And I mean, Jihan didn't really like this, but it's true. And I think it goes against his character that he was willing to give up so many of the X's. People that genuinely wanted to leave the game. People that you could argue were morally correct here. And Jihan's willing to let them get stabbed to death by all the O's just so his plan can come into play where they can take the guards by surprise. I thought it was bullshit for Jihan. And I'm not going to say it's ruined his character, but up to this point, I think in Season 2, he's been very honourable.
Yep.
And for me, this wasn't honourable.
It wasn't honourable. Ned Stark would be turning in his grave at this manoeuvre here. But tell you what, you say it hasn't ruined his character. I think it almost has ruined his character. For me, it did. I mean, obviously, we've hinted at the start that Young Bay's dead. It made me not feel remorse when he got killed for Jihan. It made me think, like, you are a stupid bastard.
Yeah, so Jihan's plan is we'll hide, the guards will come in, we'll pretend that we're dead, and then we will try and jump them, we'll get the guns off them, and then we'll storm the place, and we'll try and get to the control unit where the big bosses are, and we'll end these games. It's like, look at how many soldiers are playing in this game. I think it's very dumb that Jihan believes that they can just simply take over. And also, you'd have to assume that these soldiers are somewhat trained.
Also, they'll have backup, which we clearly see. I mean, literally, how many X's did Jihan have here?
Well, hold on, isn't the backup the soldiers?
No, but he can't put a number, right, on the amount of soldiers.
So you're saying once there's an attack here, they're going to fucking fly in more soldiers?
I honestly think so, yeah. No, but not even fly in. We've seen that they wiped out a decent portion of them, then whoever, the big guy leading them, that's not the front man right now, phoned in like the extra guys, and then they were...
The masked man.
The masked man, that's what caused the 30-minute shootout. It's just a ridiculous fucking plan for Jihan, man. To me, honestly, it's almost ruined the show for me, I'll be honest.
Yeah, so like that happens, we get the brawl, a bunch of O's start killing X's.
We had the death of See-Me. We had Mean Sue, he threw the knife down to her, and then he kind of just fucking... bottled it.
Yeah, he bottled it.
He definitely could have saved her.
Mean Sue could have jumped down and saved her, but he didn't, and then she got stabbed to death by Thanos' little friend and the crazy guy on the drugs, so I wasn't expecting her to die there.
Yeah, I thought once he threw the fork down or whatever, she would have lived.
Yeah, or I thought Mean Sue was maybe going to jump down and do something, or maybe get himself sacrificed. I just don't really see the point of him surviving, just a shite bag. Maybe we could have seen some sort of redemption, but we didn't get to see that, and See-Me gets, stabbed to death brutally, so that sucks for her. Thanos' friend is now a complete killer, and he's on drugs as well, so It's a pretty good combination. Then we see the soldiers come in, the guards come in. Ji-hun's group takes them by surprise. I mean, even then, it's like, it's a bit unrealistic that all these guards come in, at least a dozen guards come in, and Ji-hun's group have fucking no weapons, but somehow they synchronize an attack and manage to overcome all the... You'd think that maybe Ji-hun's group could maybe get a couple of guards down, but then they would just get shot before they can fully take over initialize the
I mean,
process.
they probably killed about 50 guards in this episode, something of that number.
No, not in the room.
No, not in the room. I said this,
I'm on
I said
about
this
the.
episode.
I'm on about the room. I think it's
what?
highly unlikely the group could take over the guards and get the guns for it getting shot.
No, it is.
first.
It's flawed in every department. But my point is, I think
No,
Ji-hun...
listen. It's different if they send in two guards and you're like, right, try and distract one, and we'll jump the other one.
Yeah.
But
No, you're right. All this
there
takes
was about a dozen guards. How the fuck did Ji-hun's group manage to, take down all the guards without any of the guards just turning around and shooting them?
all it takes is one guard or two guards, like the six that got took down, their guns took off them immediately, to fight back and shoot like a third of the people who were trying to attack them, and it's good night.
For this to happen, you would need to synchronize jump the guards at the exact same time in order to get their weapons off them.
But see Ji-hun here, right? Honestly, see him leading this gang of commandos to kill all these guards. I mean, this is all out murder. At least you could say with the guards is, well, they're killing people who've now agreed at this stage to continue to take part in the game. They've lost fair votes, they've lost due to capitalism, all that stuff, democracy. I mean, this is all in all out murder.
True.
Ji-hun would end up in Dexter's table for this. Now, you could argue that the guards would still end up in Dexter's table, but forget about Dexter for a split second. It's like, is Ji-hun not became what he hated here by literally just killing people? He could have united all the X's and went, you know what, number one, you're right, this fucking plan I've got's retarded. How about we try and survive the night, and whoever does survive the night, hopefully will win, and we'll be home tomorrow. But instead with this plan, man, it's like, you've literally let half of the X's die anyway, and then you're going to lead the rest of them like lambs to the slaughter, because you've literally no estimate about how many numbers that they've got. It's crazy. Honestly, I just don't get this for G. Like, all the morals going out the window. Like, we've seen how much he cared in red light, green light. Oh, don't move, you'll die, and all that stuff. And then he's like, right, yeah, I think the next game's going to be the biscuit game. We need to draw this shape. And obviously that didn't come to fruition. But it's like, yeah, just crazy. He's willing to put all his money behind to go in and save people, and then come episode. And it's not like it was built up over time where he lost his sanity. Like, it's not like Jung Bae died in episode 5, and over the next 2 episodes, he's went, fuck it, I just need to get out of here, killing guards is worth it. Like, who really died close to him in this season that warranted this, flick of the switch to just go fucking Rambo and sacrifice people and kill, 50 guards? Nothing. It's almost like the writer wrote 6 episodes and went, fuck, I've only got 1 more.
Yeah, I mean, he was willing to sacrifice all the X's to get the guns, and then, like you said, just slaughtered all the soldiers, so it's like, For a guy that wanted to end the games and not kill anybody,
It's out the window. And that's why I can't help but feel they have ruined the character.
and then when they get the guns, you've got some of the X's that want to shoot the O's, and I think that's justifiable because the O's were just literally slaughtering them in the middle of the night.
And then he's like, no, don't.
No, that's not the reason we done it. It didn't make much sense to me.
No. Now, what you could argue he could have done, which might have been smarter, is they could have kept the guns till the foot in the morning. You know what I mean? Held the O's at gunpoint and be like, right, you aren't killing any more of us. Now we're going to...
That's actually not a bad idea.
So why couldn't he have done something like that? But then enact your plan... I don't know. I mean, something like that, because that would have saved a lot of lives. And it would have forced an end to the games. Like, see this Rambo fucking tactic trying to break through the entire compound to get to the map?
Yeah, but would they really end at the games on the forts? Would they not have said, these forts, this is bullshit? Would the game master kept his word?
I know, but I feel like it makes more sense for Ji-hun to do that, than literally go on a fucking killing spree.
Yeah, so...
It just felt so out of pocket in character.
Yeah, we then get Hyung-ju Turns out he was a former military leader or whatever. So yeah, she knows a lot about guns. They try and recruit people for their mission. I mean, why would you try and recruit some O's when the O's want to stay? Jihan's trying to finish the games. He's trying to put an end to the games, stop the games. Yeah, he's trying to get O's recruited to his team when O's want to stay and make money. Why would you put a fucking gun in the hand of an O? Doesn't make any sense whatsoever. They make their way to the control panel. We get into a shootout, and by a shootout, I literally mean like a 25-minute shootout where the group kind of just get pinned in the one location by all the guards. They're getting shot at. Jihyun and his best friend, Young Bae, they make their way up to the control panel. Young Il says that he will cover them with the rest of the group, so they try and stay behind. Ammo's running low. We get Jihyun gets pinned down on his way to the control unit. So Young Il and two other guys make their way up to try and give help. Ammo's running out. Hun Jae is like, I'm going to go and get more ammo, but Daeho is like, no, I'll go. And at this point, he's completely folded. He may have been in the Marines, but his arse has dropped.
He may have been in the Marines, but his arse was not in the Marines. I mean, honestly, I don't know what happened to this guy here. It just felt forced.
Yeah, he runs
for him not to be able to like help them out.
He runs back down to the game room where they keep the waiting room where the players sleep. They collect all the ammo, collect all the gun clips, and then he just hides in the corner. Eventually, Hunju goes down to see what he is. What's keeping him so long? Turns out that he's just in the corner shaking.
But of course, she's the one. He's the one. You know, she's the one to be the strong one. Oh, look, no, you're all right. You've got to do this. And then when all the guards come in here, it's like game over. She's the only one with a gun that's willing to fight them to the end. Because I need this gender surgery.
Yeah, but Jim Ja says, no, don't do it. They'll kill you. So, yeah, we then see the rest of the group getting taken out because their numbers have dropped. Their ammo has dropped. Young Il meets up with Jihyun. He says there's a way in the back. He's going to go there with two other guys. He does go round, but then he takes the two guys out from behind, shoots them. He puts the radio on, and then he lets Jihyun hear one of the guys he just shot die. Jihyun obviously though thinks it's Young Il that's dying, taking his final breath, and then bang, we hear a bullet. So at this point, Jihyun believes that Young Il is dead. Probably believes that everyone else that followed him up in this group is dead. So Jihyun thinks it's just him and Young Bae. They believe that if they surrender, then they might have a chance of surviving. They might let them live, which is not a bad idea. The soldiers close in on the other group. Kyung Suk, someone takes his own life. The other guy gets shot. Then Kyung Suk gets a gun pointed at him, and the trigger gets pulled. Now, does this mean that Kyung Suk's dead? Was it the soldier 11 that shot him? Maybe she shot him. It was a non-lethal shot. Maybe it wasn't Soldier 11. Maybe it was one of the guys that's trying to do the organ harvesting and he didn't shoot him fatally. I mean...
And he might survive because number 11 will step in.
Yeah, Kyung Suk could still be alive. Kyung Suk could be dead. I mean, if this was any other character, if it was a throwaway character, you would just assume dead, but...
I think this would suck if he was dead. I think it would be so underwhelming.
Yeah, but because he's in there for his daughter, I feel like he's got more to give, so we don't know whether he's dead or not. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, Young Bae and Jihyun, they do surrender, but the front man, which is obviously Young Il, he's back in his suit, back wearing the black mask. He says, you tried to play the hero, now you're going to see that being the hero has consequences. Young Bae kind of just looks at Jihyun, and then he gets shot. Bang. Dead. Jihyun screams out, no! And then we go and we see the player board, and we see that Young Bae, player 390, eliminated.
What in the hell? How naive, right, is Jihyun here, and the rest of them? These guys were literally just dropping guards for fun. Did they really think that they were just going to be fucking spared here and took back to the room? I think that's just a bit... I mean, honestly, like...
Well, Hanju is probably going to be spared, isn't he?
No, he's going to be... That's different. You know, he's the main character, not just...
Maybe he just transitioned back into a man and went, I didn't do nothing. What me?
Look at my mustache, man. It wasn't me, brother. The point is, I just didn't I didn't feel bad for Ji-hun here. Because it's like, mate, you organised this fucking clusterfuck of a plan.
It was a dumbass plan.
And then it's like, they surrendered. See the guy that shot himself? To me, that made sense because it was like, well, fuck it, they're going to kill me anyway. Well, I'll go at my own terms, I'm going to let them do it. But, yeah, Ji-hun, I just didn't, I like the Junbei character, but you're supposed to feel remorse here for Ji-hun, but I couldn't. I didn't feel it.
Yeah, it was definitely more sadder, I think, when his friend kills himself in the first one.
No, absolutely.
At the end.
No, I totally agree, but that was your episode. Fred or foe.
Now, we also have Captain Park. Captain Park, we see that he is, I guess, a bad guy, an antagonist. He throws one of the, the mercenaries over the boat, kills him. So I'm not sure what is happening with Captain Park. Possibly, is he a member of the games? Is he employed? Is he one of the soldiers? We don't know. It looks like he's trying to sabotage the mercenaries from finding the island. So, we see him commit that kill. So, it'd be interesting to see, I guess, in Season 3 what happens with him. But honestly, man, I think they need to speed that process up. Or if they're going to have that little turn be in there, then have it be earlier. I like the character of the police officer, like I do, but Young Ho, I like him, but I mean it does feel like ever since Ji-hun went into the games, he spent 5 episodes just sailing around on a boat doing nothing.
I think it would be better if he was in the games as well. I know it wouldn't work because he knows his brother, right? I get that, but maybe put him in now. I don't know how you do it. But I just don't really. He's fucking been. You're right. He's literally been sailing around doing nothing.
I'm not saying that they couldn't. They could have had the Captain Park turn into an attack. Why couldn't Captain Park have maybe betrayed them and took them to the island? But they had to surrender and they got entered into the games for Season 3. I think something like that would have been better.
Yeah, like late entry.
Are we going to...
You fucking idiots killed each other. We're putting him in the game.
Also, we did see number 1 get recognised by one of the guards. It would be weird if one of the guards did see the front man's face. Maybe could the guard have recognised him from his playing days? Who knows?
What guard?
The guard they took hostage recognised him. Then he got shot in the head.
Oh, true, yeah. That's true.
Maybe
yeah.
he recognised him from his playing days. Who knows?
Possibly.
What are you doing back in here with him? Ji-hun. But, you know what? Honestly, I haven't felt this disappointed in a show since... I'm trying to think. It's one episode, right? But it feels similar to me with The Walking Dead. Where I used to love The Walking Dead. Then it dropped off, but that was more gradual. I'm
going to get a 4.
Yeah, I'll get a 4 as well.
And that's about as generous as I could give it. I mean, I think a 5 would just be... I think a 5's too high.
It's borderline ruined it. Despite, a lot happened, but then at the same time, a 30-minute...
Yeah, not very good, guys. Anyway, that's our review. 4 out of 10. Honestly, just wasn't that impressed. It's very disappointing, but is what it is. Season 2, episode 7. We'll catch you in Season 3. A lot more Theory Fids to come. Just a shame that they've decided to, give us 2 less episodes this season and make us wait another year. But it is what it is. And, it's a cliffhanger, but, it does feel more like a mid-season finale than a proper finale to me. But here...
It'll be good when Ji-hun sees the front man unmask. I think that's like the big moment we're waiting for. And a lot of characters are still alive.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens.
Till next time, 4 out of 10. Peace. Right.